here?
We're back for a regular scheduled game.
There's only 2 of us, though.
Yeah, I mean, we kicked the others out, so everything should go a lot more smoothly now. Just kidding. They're on the way. So we thought we'd just get that stream started up. Is DJ Magic Dragon on?
It is not. I don't know. Is it a she or a he? I think this was dead last week. Nope, it's not.
DJ Magic Dragon. We didn't use it last week because we were just playing Talisman.
Some of these dice are from the Rift scheme.
Mine are right over here. All right. Okay. We're very professional here. You know, we start right on time. We're ready to go.
Erevar found a pair of dice too, didn't he?
No, he did not. So.
Well, I guess it's time to put those back then.
Yeah.
Damn,
you want to know what they did?
Zernax had those forever. No, don't tell me. I don't want to know. They worked all right a couple of times. So that might have just been the placebo effect.
Placebo. Okay.
Use those for.
All right. This is the Wileyverse. Guess I should do introductions. Wileyverse, every Wednesday we play Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition in the Forgotten Realms universe, specifically at Baldur's Gate. This is a game about a bunch of kind of mercenaries, but they're just also people out on their own, trying to find their own way. They didn't really know each other. They got put together because they're in this mercenary company, and they're learning about the wider world and each other and trust and thieving and all kinds of stuff.
So they're just learning about thieving from me. Yeah. I've been caught stealing from the group a couple of times.
I do have a couple things. When everyone gets here, I can talk about.
Special guest Bandy.
Special guest Bandy.
That's a good shot.
That is such a good shot. You're such a good girl. Bandolier. I'm a little bit crowded over here, and I don't know why. I have my setup all.
Is Gallagher in the field right now? Is that what
No, he went to visit his...
Oh, that's right. I've asked you that for like 2 weeks straight.
Parents. All right. Our group works for a mercenary company called the Cardinal Bond. They are bondsmen. They're working out of Baldur's Gate, which normally wouldn't be very lucrative because the Flaming Fist kind of, rule Baldur's Gate, and they're a mercenary company, and they take all the work themselves. But due to circumstances, unforeseen, a lot of problems hit Baldur's Gate at the same time, which spread them pretty thin and allowed other mercenary companies to flourish. One of them being the Cardinal Bond. It's primarily out of Waterdeep, but has set up an office in Baldur's Gate. Well,
there's 2 left.
Yeah, there's one for each of us.
I'll have it then. Hey, I'm kidding.
We'll split it.
We'll just all pass it around. Sip, pass. Sip, pass.
I'll be okay, but I work in a school, so you guys will be getting a lot of elementary school germs from me.
Thanks for that.
I'll just be like, leave everything.
All right.
Sure, it'll be okay with the beer and stuff that I just chugged.
Chug. Get him, Danny. Get him. What's up?
She's so happy to see everybody.
It's like there's people here, and they're paying attention to me.
All right, you were doing the recap, and then you were going to tell us about something.
There's a couple things, yes. Let's go through the players real quick. Down at the end there is Mitch. He is playing Erevar, a former pirate now landlocked in Baldur's Gate, working for the Man, or at least the mercenary company, and trying to make as much coin on the side as he can.
A fakely proper gent who's been caught stealing from the party several times.
And has not been caught stealing.
Potato salad
sometimes.
is following the party.
Hey, thanks for the follow, Messy Potato Salad. You now have inspiration. With that, you can give any player a reroll, or any monster or GM roll a reroll. Thanks for joining us. So, Mitch is the resident swashbuckler rogue, and the expert, the only one that's really been in town for a while, though Maeve knows her way around a little bit. Next to Mitch is Kaylin, playing Loradov, a Eladrin monk from the Feywild. She is an astral soul monk, taking some of her Feywildness with her into the prime material plane as it unravels behind her when she fights.
Yes.
Next to Kaylin is Dayton. He is also an Eladrin from the Feywild. Loradov and Jordarai came together. Jordarai is a Horizon Walker Ranger. Kind of specializes in the planeswalking and specifically fiends and going against them. I am Wiley. I am the GM. I also run a character named Maeve. She is
That's why it's called Wileyverse. I'm trying to figure that out.
It's been a while.
That's stupid.
You know what? Like, we did the Wileyverse Mitch, and I didn't even realize that it says Wileyverse.
Yeah, it says
like,
Wileyverse.
It was like, we originally said Wiley kills Mitch.
Well, both of my one-shots, I called them Mitchverse.
Mitchverse, yeah.
Like, still in the Wileyverse.
No, and then Robert it was the Robertverse.
That's right.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, you put a little thing over Robert's. It's Robertverse.
So, I am playing Maeve. Maeve is a priest of Chicory of Tymora, though there may be more to her background than is let on. So, just a quick recap of where we're at. Our party got together as mercenaries, not really working with each other, in a tumultuous time for Baldur's Gate, when it was leading up to the fiendish-themed festival, the Blood Moon.
Sorry, I do it every single time.
Is that the commercial?
Yeah.
Is our mic blinking?
If everything looks like it's doing good.
Towards the fiendishly themed festival, the Blood Moon Festival, eclipse of the moon every 4 years, where the town kind of wears masks and it's, a little bit Halloween, a little bit, was it De los Muertos?
Dia de los Muertos.
Yeah. And it's all fiendishly themed, which was apt because our players ended up opening a portal to the Hells, but it's just for them. That's probably going to be fine. You'll never have to worry about that again. But they'd accrued a little bit of debt while they were on that adventure, and to pay it off, they were asked to go steal a bottle of wine. And after a con and some travel and being bushwhacked, fighting some statues, they got into the wine cellar, stole the bottle of wine, but were tempted by a large vault door, which Erevar could not let go unopened.
It took 2 tries to get into it, didn't it?
No, you did it on first try.
I used my inspiration, yeah.
And Maeve helped you. You had her holding things.
That's right.
They opened the vault door right into a macabre laboratory where a fresh flesh golem had just been risen, and wildly attacked them as freshly made flesh golems do.
That's what I call Dayton's penis.
The flesh golem. The freshly made flesh golem?
I figured it was the flesh gnome.
Nope.
Not tonight. I got a good headache.
So, they defeated the golem, ransacked the place, and got the hell out of there. I didn't even hear what it was. Was it inspiration worthy?
No.
No? Okay.
That's what it's the flesh gnome. You said nope, and I was like, it's more like I got a good headache.
That's pretty good.
But I have inspiration for my journaling, so.
Hey, I got mine in today.
You got yours.
Just out on that. Only had 3 weeks. Sorry.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, why didn't you
2?
do anything? Like, no, you had 3 weeks. I can't just poured all of that on myself right now.
So, they finished off the flesh golem. ransacked the cellar and escaped.
What's up, bud?
What's going on?
Hey.
And escaped back into the undercellar and got back to the markets, the night markets and black markets and gray markets and fun markets, where they offloaded some goods. They did some purchasing, made some money. But now it's time to actually get out of here. So that's where we're at. But a couple things to go over. If you go to your character's equipment section, you're going to notice an odd piece of equipment added to your list.
What? That is not how I would spell your edition.
I have a lock of Helmia here.
Lock of hell. Oh, yeah, you do.
Mm-hmm.
That is how you spell erudition, though.
Isn't it erudition, then?
Sure.
Erudition.
Erudition. Let's go to the.
Oh, do you want to go to the dictionary? Go for it. Usually if the vowel, consonant, vowel combination ends in something other than E, then usually it has some sort of non-English base to it, and usually does not follow the usual rules of CVC or VCV.
Did you just say it usually does not usually follow?
Usually does not
I
usually.
did.
Yeah.
I found out I might be a teacher in January, so it's fine.
Erudition.
Erudition, yeah, you're right.
So erudition, you have erudition as an item now, so you guys can keep track of your own.
That's erudition. I was right.
Huh?
That's erudition.
Erudition.
Okay.
Erudition.
Should I
Sure.
write
Sorry,
this
anyway,
down?
continue.
Should I write this down?
So you have an item which you can now track your own erudition in.
Oh, really?
It has, yeah. So you can go up to the top and start adding,
So
and
can you
it'll
tell us
even.
how much we have
Yes,
now?
I'm going to tell you
Okay,
how much you
cool.
have right now, and you can see what you can purchase with your erudition.
Muchas
Cool.
gracias.
Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah. Also, messy potato salad. If you're still here,
Yeah.
thanks for showing up.
Mitch, you have 6. Kaylin, you have 9,
Sounds better than 6.
and Dayton, you have 8.
What?
And
Yeah.
you guys are slacking because poor Maeve only has 2.
I was
You
tied with
have to get
her
those.
during a point of last game, and then she got some more.
She got like 3 in a row last game.
All right.
Either we are not funny or you've been stingy with the inspiration lately. I'm just saying.
No, he's been giving us more.
No, it's more like
I said or we're not funny. There were 2 options.
Oh, messy potato is
smart.
ready to go. So the reroll is nice because you can help us out, or you can help out the NPCs. We have a group of people that love letting the monsters reroll, so you have that option as well.
Gray haired.
Yeah, great
You're a gamer.
He and his crew show up to give the monsters the
All right.
inspiration.
So, just for completeness sake and get on the stream, what I just gave them, I use a system where you can. So, inspiration. I really like inspiration. I really like the system for it. But if you already have it, you can't get it again. So it's kind of unrewarding if there's not times to use it. Did the speaker go off?
No, I can still hear it.
Yeah, it is dead. I told you.
What? What am I
Nope,
hearing?
hold on. There it is.
Yeah. Oh,
No, that's this.
Oh, okay. I was like, I hear
yeah, it's
something.
dead.
So it's dead.
So I said last
Crazy.
session it did die, so basically it turned
That's
itself back on for a second. So.
All right. So inspiration is unrewarding when you already have it. It doesn't if you're just a numbers player.
Do you have your little battery? We can plug it in.
No.
No, okay, it's fine.
So not here.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's unrewarding if you already have it. Like it doesn't drive you. So I've created a system called erudition or however you want to say it. Erudition is education. It's learning. So if you already have inspiration, you can get erudition, which is a points that you stack up. At 10 erudition, you can buy a new proficiency or language. Tool proficiency or instrument or language or gaming set. if you get 20, you can get a new class skill, an educational skill like religion or history, or weapon proficiency or an armor proficiency, as you've learned, you've been training, and it's kind of like to show that there's downtime, people are learning. One of the things, and it opens up opportunities, because one of the things you keep saying is that you'll teach everyone thieves can't, and the erudition is the way to do that. Like, if they want to learn thieves can't, they can show that off by spending their erudition for it.
Also, I need to... Maeve hasn't shown me that Thieves Can't book that she got from... What's her head yet?
Did she tell you about that?
Yes.
Okay.
Because I asked her how she knew it, and she said they gave her a book, and I said, I want to see that later. She said when it's more appropriate time, and I haven't forgotten about it, it just hasn't been an appropriate time yet.
Okay. So, you guys are in the undercellar. You've just offloaded all the salable goods that you got.
That's nice.
You're loaded with cash. Some of you did some shopping. Maeve got a cloak of many fashions, so she can now take her cloak and make it look like any color, any style she wants, which she normally has it hooded over herself. Oh yeah, you got a forgery kit and
a bunch of stuff happened right now.
6 months! You get inspiration. Oh, no erudition for that.
There was some other stuff it said before.
There's a message to it.
Oh, there was? See, this doesn't have like a live thing anymore.
Can you move it over here and...
You got an emote thanks to Giant Hippo Cheer. I guess you do, or something. I don't know.
What's happening right now?
It's right here. No, it's not right here.
Chat.
Can you move your
arrow?
Oh, the
chat.
chat's...
The mouse over here?
There it is.
Right above that.
Sorry, everybody.
Giant Hippo, Mitch is the worst, but still here. All right. So you guys are in the undercellar. You're in the what's called the gallery in the rows. Kind of a seedy undercenter of the place. Lots of illicit goods and services for sale. But this is still kind of a touristy-ville. Like, this isn't the dark corners of the undercellar. Though I'm pretty sure you guys just want to get out of here and get paid. Actually, you're not getting paid, so you already got paid with what you sold. At least get out of here and report that you've successfully accomplished the heist.
Yes.
Which starts the first major issue. You guys have been down here for a while, and it was already like noon when you started your journey, and you got waylaid by the ambushers, the muggers, and then you had to go through all the wines and the tumble and all that kind of stuff. Fight a flesh golem, unlock a massive vault door, and then find your way back. And then sell everything. So it's probably dark outside.
Which means we shouldn't be in this side of town.
Correct. Well, most of you. So these two have letters of foreign emissaries. Like, they can show something that kind of at least legitimizes them being in the ward in the upper city. They'd still be asked to get back to their inn or get out.
Can
Maeve, as a priestess of Timora, can say that she's going to the church. The temple is right there.
As much as it pains me to suggest it, can I act like a vassal or a servant of one of these three?
Absolutely. That's the way you want to run.
Yeah.
I mean, you can just try to... Are you going to try to walk to a gate and walk out?
I mean, I'm going to follow her and be her vassal, so she gets to choose how we're going to get out of here.
Okay.
Do I need to roll like a performance or anything?
Oh, we'll see what the guard says when you get there. If that's the way you want to go, like, you can also like try to ask around here if there's secret exits, but you know of only one exit, and it comes up right next to the wide outside that little shrine.
And we talked about that before, so I don't really want to. I don't want to wear that out. If that makes sense. Like, I don't want to be seen around it too much. So my suggestion really is that you two have a writ. There's a reason for you to be here. So I can at least act like I can at least act like I belong to somebody.
Okay.
Okay.
Because I'm the only one who doesn't fit in, so
All right.
I choose you because this guy keeps pretending to catch me cheating and stuff. So
Okay. Fair enough.
These are yours, right? The blue ones. Right?
Mm-hmm.
These are mine. And then the gold ones are mine. Where are the gold ones?
who's Wileyverse?
Yeah, who's that guy?
It's just perfect nighttime sneaking around town music too. It's pretty good.
But no, really, where are my gold ones?
Oh, oh no, these are the copper ones for what's it said?
The golden red.
Are they in the?
I was like, is there a
Oh.
different...
Those ones?
Yep. All right. I have to remember what I was rolling. As you're coming up, who's coming up first from the sewer grate? Are you gonna do it from a lookout?
I think from a point of caution that I would poke my head out first.
Stealth check.
Is Maeve, like, rolling with us in this group?
Yep. She'll make
I
her.
don't trust her.
Cloak
too
of
much, but
many-
we still need her.
She'll put her cloak of many fashions into a nice long, very like rich-looking robe. So
Let's use that inspiration.
you guys are emissaries. Sure, you'd be running with a priest.
Unnatural 20.
All right. So you sneak up there and you peek out and you see that the last remnants of the bazaar are being taken down. So there are several guards still standing around, kind of chaperoning these people out.
Does it look like we can get out from here without being too discovered?
Maybe, like if you ducked back into the city, because the shrine, there is some space from the behind it in the wide, but there's nothing there. You think that if you timed it right and told everyone to go, you could get into the buildings back there, which run along one of the tradeways, which get you right to a gate.
Let's try that, because Erevar would want to have one last speck of control before he starts acting like a vassal.
All right, make me a stealth for the group, then.
Well, 12. Unless somebody wants to give me their inspiration so we don't get caught.
I don't have any.
Or messy potato salad, you can give me your inspiration so I can re-roll.
It's way too early.
Ah, it's fine. 12.
I mean, he can still give it to you.
Let's
Like,
see what he says.
you can beg now,
You
but
can hold on to. No, he's right. Hold on to it, messy potato salad. Oh, take it. I kind of feel bad for asking for it. You know what? I'm not gonna take it. We're gonna go with 12. We're gonna see what we can
he
do.
told you to take it.
All right,
But
I'm
he
taking
was
it.
done.
The chatter
All right.
is right. Did you get worse?
Rolled a
Way
2
worse.
the first time. I rolled a 1 right now.
Wow, he really wasted your inspiration. Like, he's a terrible human being.
Hey, thanks, messy potato salad.
I'm gonna-
Critical failure.
Well, you don't have to take the reroll. You take the highest because you have
Well, then we
advantage.
got a 12.
All right. So you're like, okay, go, and you guys all like start to go, and almost immediately, oi, you there, stop!
Oh, God.
So you just, do you stop, or do you try to run for it?
What is that? Flaming snowman. I don't know. Do you guys want
Like, what exactly are we trying to do right now?
Get out of the upper city.
Because basically what happened was we went to the wine cellar, and then once you left the wine cellar, there was like a marketplace, right?
Yeah. Well, not once. Like, so the upper city's huge, and the wide is over here. The wide is a big marketplace. So this whole thing is a huge bazaar. Then you guys you were messing around here. This is where the marketplace is underneath, even like the rows and the gallery. But then you went all the way around here up through the run and the tumble, was it? The shatters.
Shatters.
The shatters into the alleys, which are in Manorborn, which is a place way on the other side of the upper city. Then you made your way all the way back. So you're really far away from like where that manor is and everything, but you're back here at where this bazaar was, this open air marketplace.
Okay.
But it's closed, and most people aren't supposed to be out at night in the upper city. Like, even you guys aren't supposed to be out unless you have a token, but you can legitimize you being there with your letter.
And everyone kind of has a reason to be up here right now,
Except for
for me. So I was going to act like your vassal.
Yeah, I got that. So
You're like, oh, that part where Erevar's
I don't think there's a need to run.
I was gonna say
just-
we should just be like we're lost or something.
And I don't know like how much he's put to it before, but I know it was discussed. The undercellar is known. It's that dirty little secret that no one talks about. So
now it kind of looks like we came out of it.
yeah, it looks like you were down there doing seedy stuff, but
What's your charm?
most people don't even care about it, or depending on this guard, he may try to
Charisma,
he may try to shake you down for some money or something like that. But it's not illegal to be in the undercellar. It may be illegal to buy stuff or have stuff from it if it's illicit goods. But yeah, so
Your charisma's +2. That's not bad. I mean, could be better, but, you know. Hey.
what's your charisma? This is pretty up there, isn't it?
It's only +1.
What? I have the most charismatic.
Maeve has a pretty good one,
Oh,
but
okay. But it doesn't matter. Really, we've got to go off.
She's
I've
got a
got to go
+3.
off you. So
So what's
the two
our
of you-
lie?
I don't know if you guys discussed it.
I mean, you had a good one where we feel like we're lost. Like I know we're near the undercellar, but like we went that way and it didn't work. We're like, we went in the undercellar. Oops! Like that's not where we were headed. We're trying
Yeah.
to find her. We're here
just-
with our passes. We're
Just
trying to
pretend
make
to
our
be a
way
little
out.
dumb. Just be like, God damn it! Like we got turned around again. We're trying to get back to.
You can even blame it on me. Like, all right, that's why you never listen to a vassal.
So the two guards walk up, one taking the lead. He's like, "All right, what are you skulking around for? Where's your tokens?"
I don't have any tokens, but we do have our present our passes. We seem to have gotten ourselves a little lost.
When you produce papers, he looks like as you produce your hand, like he looks like he's about to grab it, and then he sees that it's papers, and he's like, "Oh," and just kind of takes it a little bit more gingerly from both of you. Looks them over, checks the seal. Right, you shouldn't be out at night yet. And who are these two? And Maeve just like pulls up her holy symbol. It's like, I've been hired as their guide.
I'll stop Paladin. Oh yeah, I work for the madam. I work for the madam.
I slap him. Don't speak. I'll speak for you. He works for me.
Alright, what were you doing down there?
Well, we were trying to find our way out, and we seem to have just gotten turned around. I mean, we've been out here for like 2 hours, just wandering back and forth.
Alright, turned around coming from the undercellar. I see. Out to see some of the nightlife.
No, you should say the
The under what? Underwear?
Underwear? As well.
Bat my eyelashes.
Oh,
Make a deception.
Ooh, yeah, what is your deception? Go to skills, yeah.
+2.
Plus
Do
one.
it with
2?
That's not bad.
Do it with advantage because you do have all the right things going for you. He has no reason to be
Some
suspicious.
luck on that dice.
Just rolling together?
Yep. He's just looking for a reason to probably get some money out of
Look
you.
at that.
You
Yeah.
guys are about to get an 18.
18.
Or 21.
Yeah, 21 altogether.
All right. So you bet your eyes. He's like, All right. Well, where are you staying?
Where are we staying? We're getting
I know,
out of the city,
Yeah,
right?
you're getting out of the upper city. You could just say, we have lodgings in the lower city.
That's what I say.
Okay. He's like, all right. Well, he turns to the guy with him. He's like, get him to the gate. Like, yes, sir. Follow me. And he starts walking.
Boom, that's a nice Rogan. I liked it. I liked it. Can we get some inspiration for that rogue adaptivity right there? That was nice.
Do you already have inspiration?
I don't.
They're begging for it.
They are begging for it, but
I didn't say
I didn't want to
anything.
get I know that you're going for that 10th erudition right now.
Really?
So
Oh,
The
that was
Dayton
clever.
insults are going to start flying out here.
Because Erevar only gave like a hint of what we were going to plan or whatever. The rest of it was all her. That trying to bat the eyelashes was her idea. That was some good rogue.
all right. You guys get escorted to the gate and walk right out without even so much as a bribe or a fine. So pretty good for
You're welcome.
the city watch.
Kinda
Pretty
cool.
dope. Let's get out of here. You gotta haggle and give me 3.
So where are you going?
So 3 then.
I'll take 3.
Give yourself 3. I'll take 3. That's funny. With a little nice little lost page.
I just said I saved him some money for not doing a bribery. You should give me some gold.
trading some coin.
She said 10, I said 3, and then I won.
So where are you guys?
There it is.
Where are you guys going? You going to go back to the Fated Sign, or are you going to go to the Blushing Mermaid to see if you can report success to Arya?
Yeah, we should probably see if Arya's still
I'll
around.
do some payment. Plus, I have feelers out for.
Tiamu.
There you go. Yeah, Tiamu. Very
Did
good.
they,
I almost want to award inspiration for that, but I know what you're doing.
wasn't that the point? Didn't they, when you put that bottle into the bag, it disappeared, right?
It actually felt like it got pulled out of your hand.
Oh, okay.
But it went in court first
Yeah.
and all that stuff. Yeah, that's who we were getting it for. Well, it's for her, but I also have business at the Mermaid. Plus, I just like the Mermaid, so if you
That's
guys
a
want to go to the
nice place.
Mermaid, you don't have to invite me. I'm going to be there anyway.
I have to hide shit from Dayton. So you can see my notes.
What a cheater.
I'm not cheating.
Alright.
I didn't pay attention to that.
And also, you did stumble upon a weird lab with human body parts in it. You might want to tell someone about that. And
I'm going to get paid for that.
Forgot
kind of
about that.
yeah, I mean the flesh golem with weird symbols branded into his
It's
head.
not just that, it's that it was in a noble's basement. That's dirt. Dirt is worth money.
So
That's the arrow bar you got.
you head back to the Blushing Mermaid, or down to the Blushing Mermaid. It's the Blushing Mermaid. It's a big pile of shit with a bunch of shady characters in it. But Mizla and Arya are both there.
Ooh.
So Mizla's slanging drinks, and Arya's just sipping on her wine behind the counter.
She's
Not
always
the
so well,
wine, but
She's always
Tonight,
so well dressed.
yeah, she is way out of place here.
I'm gonna go off topic for a second. On our thirsty Secret Santa thing, it was things I collect, and I literally my 2 answers were souls of the weak and dirt on my enemies. And I was like, "What is wrong with you?" And I was like, "I don't know."
When
Nice.
is this permanent?
And then I think it was coffee cups.
Should have put dice.
Oh,
It is
yeah,
National
yeah.
Dice Day.
Womp womp.
We'll talk about our dice giveaway at the end. No, we're not giving away. We don't make that much.
We're supposed to get our dice acceptance if you have dice to send.
Yeah, if you are a dice vendor, we will take your dice.
There was I don't know if you saw on Reddit, there was a post of a guy that had his original dice set from first edition that came out in '76.
Was it the sharp corners D4?
Well, the D4s were about. They looked like they were plastic.
They are.
They
They're molded plastic. You had to take a crayon and put the wax into the numbers to read them.
Yeah, so they were like this weird,
Yeah.
bluish color. It was strange.
We're not sponsored by Dice, but
If there's a dice sponsor out there, we're not worthy, but we will take it. We will be better for you. I'm still mad about that Ashwood D20. We got to get that in February.
Yeah, these were the original
Yeah,
box.
these were even older looking. I was actually kind of impressed that he still had them.
is there any notes I should have written down in that transaction?
You decide. That's the important part about taking the notes.
It's hard.
All right, so Arya's sitting there, and she stands up as you guys enter, gives you a nod, and if you approach, she'll say, "Shall we get a private room?"
1983.
Yeah, that's the dice.
That's cool.
That's again the reason it has contrast is because he used a crayon.
Yeah.
And you rub it in
looks
there.
Like he used a sparkly gold crayon. You got the edges and stuff like that. Yeah, it's kind of cool.
So, and you wipe off the wax, so there's wax in the number. So you approach her, and she's like,
36-year-old dice.
"Shall we get a private room?"
As usual, we'll take our regular.
This is Arya,
Oh,
not Mizla. I wouldn't order from her.
it's expensive. We found out.
Also, she works for Blue Dragon.
I know. I forgot that part, but
Yeah, I'll remind you because Erevar is keenly aware that he's
Yeah.
dealing with someone
that's right.
that even if she doesn't have power, which she probably does, she has powerful friend.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I want to talk to Tiamua about guild stuff. That's one of the reasons.
Yeah, that's so you have her eye out for her.
Just checking.
So yeah, she asks, private room.
Well, you're more her style.
I'm more her style.
When they were questioning, you and Maeve just sat and talked to her. That's how you found out all about her.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm as like the guide or the rogue. What I'm doing is I'm playing our best option. You have a rapport with her. You discuss with her. So every time we see Arya, you're in charge of getting that started.
Arya Vizier.
Alright, yeah, let's go to warring.
Okay. She retired. Like, she walks herself. She doesn't get a guide. Mizla doesn't bring her down. She goes into the back, down the basement.
I don't
She
do that.
like she has her own room. It seems she just walks right in. She has a key for it.
That's
She opens the door. Well, there's other things going on, but you guys haven't taken notice. So yeah, she has her own little private room. There is like wine and some spirits already in here, with glasses and mugs. And she's like, can I get you anything?
Is this like her permanent residence?
It doesn't look like there's no bed or anything here. It's just a table, chairs.
She left once for a little while, so she went and did something for a bit.
So like when she walks in, even like she just snaps her fingers, and all the candles hanging from the chandelier all light on fire. And then she asks you what you want to drink, and she kind of heads over, and her chair gets pulled out by seemingly no one. And it pushes in behind her when she sits down.
The flesh golem weirded me out, and I didn't like playing a vassal, so I want something a little bit stronger than ale this time.
Alright. She's like, I have rum and I have whiskey.
Rum, I don't like whiskey.
Alright. A cup.
No, I'm a sailor. Give me the... No, rum, yeah. Yeah, give me the rum.
So, a small cup.
I was like,
A small cup upends
really
itself from its
that.
stack with no one touching it. Floats underneath a little rum cask, and you see it, and it gets floated over to you. It sits down.
Oh, boo.
Wine.
Bottle corks and pours, and comes over to you.
Hey, wait, make sure we're not getting charged for this. This bitch likes to charge.
She's likes probably already keeping the tally.
She likes to charge adventures out of us. Also, we're not sponsored by White Claw, but we're available.
At least for as end of this can. As long as the end of that can, because then we're out. Send emergency White Claws.
There's one more we can share. We'll just pour it into our cans.
Yeah, just...
You get anything to drink?
Yeah, I'll have some wine.
Okay. Wine pours for you as well. Maeve orders a beer. An ale. A lager. So you all sit down. She's like, I congratulate you on your success. Were there any complications?
I suppose now would be a good... Should I bring up that room to her? Or is that someone else?
Well, she's already... Well, make me insights. Whoever's thinking about telling her things.
Insight.
Like all of us? Or?
All like anyone that wants to anyone that
Oh shit.
if you think you may or may not have an opinion about
really
telling
good.
her.
You should be asking a lot of questions.
Nice. 23.
Fuck yeah. 15.
16.
Well, you know.
Erevar's Rome went right to
Wisdom,
his head.
yeah, like he has a lot of wisdom. So, first off, Arya is running in those circles. Like, Arya's running in the Patriarch Society and that high society, the high stakes. She's here negotiating for a merchant dragon. She's dealing with these people. And she's already stealing from them. Like, this guy in particular, that family. So, that information may be worth something to her above and beyond the job you did.
I do the same thing I was doing earlier. I'd be like, what's it worth to her? Because now you're the negotiator. I'm becoming less the boss and more of a teammate. I'm liking it.
Okay, so I would be like, well, there were a few complications, but
Nothing someone in the know. Oh, I'll
things we might want to keep to ourselves.
or
something
things
like
that people in the know might find worth paying for if they were to go down there and do anything else.
So you found something controversial in their basement.
To say the least.
All right, I'm intrigued. I do have to say that that bottle of wine more than paid for the services rendered for you. So, I have my tally book. If you need any more magical services, identification of items or explanation of effects and things like that, questions about merchandise you get, you have a tab with me.
Oh, damn. Are we in the black on this tab right now?
You are.
Excellent. Aha, that's some candy
So
for
yeah,
everyone.
now you have
Yeah.
you have a service like that bottle of wine was probably thousands of gold pieces worth of value.
Well, we wouldn't even have known where to
Yeah.
fence it.
And you would have gotten
so specific.
you would have gotten a couple hundred out of it, but for her it meant a lot.
I
So
would have jumped for 2, but I would have had to know who I was giving it to because I didn't want to get caught with it. Because that's very specific.
That is very specific.
I like it.
So you now have mystical support for research and identification. But she's like, if we're going to talk about anything more above and beyond that, something that you may have found down there that is worthwhile of note to me, then it's so hard to tell the value of information. I feel that we've built up a trust. So you can tell me, and I will see if it's valuable or not. And then we can begin the negotiations.
Yeah, that's you. So, information that can bring a house down is a lot of money.
So,
That's what Erebars said.
yeah, but hold on real quick. Because it is nigh impossible to bring a house down through bad deeds here.
They don't know that.
But blackmail is currency in the upper city. And standing is always in flux.
That's what he said.
You can say the same thing to paraphrase it. I just want to give you the...
No, totally. That makes more sense.
Remember, this is a shitty town, and no one has any illusions that the nobles are any less shitty.
So you know what? We're in the black with Arya. We might be able to hold this info and broker it later. Like, say we get caught and go to jail, or we're working for another noble, or even if we run into somebody else that we need to get a thing out of, we can give that information. Because he's right, blackmail is really good currency. We don't
I
have
was
to
gonna
blackmail.
say, like,
I mean, making a flesh golem isn't illegal. I mean, killing people for it, but they may not have killed anyone for it. They may have gotten those body parts in some other way. So you really don't know what you have.
It's true, but either way, it looks really bad. And we don't have to gain or lose from it right now. We can trade that information later if we have to, as we sneak around the fucking city.
Also, the longer you wait on it, that lab is going to be cleaned up, and you have no proof.
I would say
all you have now is knowledge. You have no proof.
I would say like she could probably do more with it than we could. So if it's gonna be valuable to anybody, it would be her, right? So we might as well just unload it. And be like,
If I have one fault, it's my good looks. If I have 2, it's greed. You're probably right. So what? That's clever. So maybe you're right. Maybe you should negotiate with her.
How
about
much
that.
I guess that's a question for myself. It's like, how much do I trust this lady?
Well, she's already. Well, she just said.
Trusts us.
Yeah.
I mean, she trusted you for a lot. For you guys going down there, that could have backfired on her,
Yes.
right?
So I guess I would just.
But she also said, "We have a rapport. We have a trust," which is the last thing you want to hear from someone, like that you trust. If they have to tell you trust them, then you probably should trust them.
My little thieves.
Yeah.
Let's be thieves.
Yep.
I mean,
What exactly?
can you give me some gold now,
We have
and then I'll
information
tell you. And then he
on the
does.
nobility house that we stole from.
Let's just fucking tell her.
So she's saying, what do you know that might
Okay.
be worth some money to me? And I was trying to say we should use it as blackmail, but Laura Dove is saying that we might not be able to use that effectively in the future, so why not give it up now? Because it is something that we've gained from that heist.
And also, it's kind of outside of your pay grade. Like, you're not going to take down any patriarchs. You're not going to leverage, because if it's your word versus a patriarch, you guys are going to be on the chopping block.
Absolutely.
So, but Arya, she's got some legs to stand on. So as you start telling her, we found this big vault door, and she's like, okay, we opened it, and there was a laboratory. She's like, a laboratory? What kind of laboratory? Like, there was body parts. Then the book that's sitting on the table next to her opens, and a pen comes out and starts writing. And she's like, go on.
Did the door have a symbol on it?
No, the door did not.
Just had a crazy
the flesh golem did have a symbol on it.
Right here, right?
Uh-huh.
Yes, and I wrote this down, but you don't have to. It was a skull.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
In a triangle.
That's right. The triangle's part that I didn't remember.
So you give her all of those details? Are there any...
I mean, if we're selling it, let's sell it all the way.
Obviously, you know that you have something because she's writing it down now.
Did we take any of those jars?
You took the book.
We took the book.
It's... Yeah.
I mean...
Oh, it's huge. Like, you have to pull it out of that bag of holding. Yeah.
Pause. We could...
Oh, pause.
This is... we could withhold the information about the symbol, find out what that means, and then try to sell that additional information to her.
My little rogue. I love it. She's not going to buy it later because that means we withheld it.
No, but I mean, we could be like, we forgot we saw this, and then we could play it off.
I like the idea, but if we're selling her the information we found, we need to sell her the information we found. We can't resell her more information than we found. That sounds fishy.
So, tell her?
We'll tell her.
Okay. She's like, describe the symbol to me again. And as you do, the little hand scribbles away, and then the book floats up and turns, and she's like, did it look like this?
That's we specifically looked at it and drew it in the book.
All right. Well, you do have something on your hands here. I am going to need some time to think about this and what the next steps are. But you will be paid for this information. It's important.
Would this book help your studies?
I'm going to guess that the pages are all blank. Yep. It is evidence, but if it has nothing to tie it to the family, it's worthless to me. Though I will take it off your hands right now for 100 gold. Floats over to her.
Let's put that in mind,
Are
right?
you gonna?
No.
So everyone gets 25?
I was like, you can't split 104 ways. I'll take 30.
Alright.
Should we ask her? Maybe she'll tell us if she recognizes the symbol. Did we recognize the symbol?
You guys really haven't discussed it yet. But she's like, I think I know what the symbol is. Again, I just really want to do some research before I start throwing around any accusations.
Before I use that, it was accurately carved enough to look like.
Yeah, it was
checks.
branded.
Oh, it was branded. Okay,
yeah,
cool. All right.
It was branded in the forehead.
I didn't want to be like we misread that or it was kind of like that. It's exactly like that.
Makes me feel pressure. 'Cause I don't know what I'm supposed to be writing down.
Okay.
Right down there. Huh?
Fuck off, Peyton. It's my book. Half my book now.
Half Eddie, half. All right. So she's like, "Yep, this could be something. This, just so you know what you got."
Word.
Is that not how it's spelled?
Golem?
How do you spell golem?
Golen.
How?
Golen.
Oh, that was close.
Unless it's the one from Lord of the Rings and it's Gulun.
That's how I spelled it.
Gollum. golems. She's like, she'll even tell you this book. Like, in order to make one of those things, you have to have one of these manuals, which will tell you, instruct you all the steps of the way. It can take up to a year to build one, and you just destroyed someone's probably thousands of gold piece creation.
Because we stole the book.
No, because you killed it.
Oh yeah.
The book can only be used once. That's why once the ritual is finished, it goes blank.
Yeah.
All the magic is gone of it. So.
Oh no.
So there is a problem with that. Like, this is good information, but you are also, you also made an enemy if someone can find out that it's
It's
you.
like, yeah, they would have to know that it was us.
Yeah, but she's gonna sell them. Maybe not. I don't know.
It depends. Depends on which. I mean,
Like if someone offered her enough money.
in Baldur's Gate, like, it's who can she make more money off of. But selling who could kill the flesh golem to the royal family or the patriarch family is probably not going to be as much as tying that family to building flesh golems and other things. So, there's a reason why you guys are kind of lower city dispensable scum. That's that's your leverage. What does it matter if you kill us? You can help us and you'll make a lot more money. It's very Shadowrunish.
Yeah, peace of love.
All right, so she's like, "Yep, I need time." So,
Perfect. So I'm gonna slip away. You guys can come if you want, but I'm gonna make it a kind of a point to slip away to go talk to Mizla about Tiamua. That's come up there.
she'll pour you all one more drink and says you can just leave the cups and glasses on the main bar. They'll find their way back down here. And she escorts you all out, locks the place back up, and she leaves. She leaves the Blushing Mermaid.
And I go off on my own. We're more buddy-buddy now than we are. If you want to follow me, you can, but I'm doing this kind of on my own because I don't need your help.
Maeve kind of like looks at you like, we got something to talk about.
Okay, so
Ooh, we're gonna split the
do you
party
want to
for a
go
second.
with him?
Can I follow him?
Yes, you can.
You can certainly try.
You can certainly try.
Alright, so I'm just going to make my way up to the main bar to talk to Mizla pretty directly.
Okay.
That we need to... Like in Cant, because she speaks Cant, right?
Mm-hmm.
In Cant, has she figured anything out about the Tiamua situation? Nothing at all?
You haven't told her about the case of money yet, have you?
The case of money.
That just arrived. that was to Maeve.
Damn it, I don't think I...
I don't like you guys just went to the job right after that. I don't think you went to.
Yeah, I don't think I told her about that, but if it doesn't come up in conversation, I'm not going to see the pertinence myself.
And it didn't have a name associated with it anyway,
That's
so
what
you
I'm
don't
saying.
know
My
if it's from
pertinence,
her. So she's like, I cast a pretty narrow net because I didn't want too much word to get out.
That was what I was going to ask, was this wide, was this short?
Yeah.
If she's trying not to raise suspicions, I appreciate her. So
What I have gotten back is things are in motion, and you will be approached when it's appropriate.
sounds good. That's what I like to hear. So we're going to have a drink then. Jordan, you want to toss steeples?
Are we doing low or high?
You pick. Or we can do even or odd.
That's the fours, right?
The D4.
Just one?
Yeah. How many times do you want to roll? 2 or 3?
Alright. So while they're playing Steeples, a game they invented in our
Alright.
D&D.
So there can be a tie in this. We have to play again, but we'll do 2s. Alright. So we don't have to talk anymore. Let's do it.
High or low, though?
I told you to pick.
But I picked how many times we're rolling, so then you
Evens.
picked... Evens?
Evens.
Okay.
Oh! That's me.
Unfortunately.
Twice. Come on. Evens. Ah, that's right. Right in one shot, too. Buy the drinks.
So
Take another.
you and Maeve sit down at a
Did you
table
just
somewhere.
roll 2 fours?
Yeah.
I rolled 2 ones.
I know, I love it. That's a great game.
And
We
she's
gotta
like-
rewrite the rules for that shit. I still have
We
the
didn't
notes.
I didn't have a chance to talk about it, but I think I know what that symbol is, and it is not good. It's a holy symbol of one of the dead 3.
The Dead Three?
Yes.
Who'd this be?
They used to be the primary evil gods of the Forgotten Realms, but they had a lot of their power stripped from them, and so now they all kind of work together. I don't know too much about them, but I'm pretty sure that's one of their symbols.
The Dead Three. They're gods that lost their power.
They're evil gods that were stripped of much of their power. So they now kind of operate as a single deity together, like a pantheon.
Oh, you only score on doubles. That's right.
You're supposed to still at least
How does she know
3,
that?
maybe 4.
I mean, just
hearing story.
yep.
Oh, I'm fine with being
Baldur's Gate apparently has a problem
that
with
game. I'm
that.
pretty sure it was
First to
multiple.
4 less points.
There used to
than
be
players.
a
Exactly.
tie
3
from
players means goal is 8. Dude, we got
evil
crazy with it.
gods in this city. I don't know the history exactly.
Throw Stevens. We'll have to revisit this. We'll talk on the Discord or something. We'll figure it out. Because this is a
That
good
doesn't
start. We
sound
can
good.
rehash this into a real game.
So, I mean, this could be really bad. Or, I mean, really good, I guess, if we're just in it for making money.
Yeah. Really bad if they find out it was us, or just really bad that they exist in general and are creating flesh golems.
Well, that's bad,
Score on
but
doubles.
I don't want to go against
It's
priests of
It's your turn. We both roll. And
dead
there's
evil
no
gods.
Nobody gets anything. If I
Yeah.
roll and it's both
So-
rolls, I get the point because it was my roll. It was my serve.
Should we do maybe?
That's what it was. I didn't put 10 because I was like,
Well,
why is this
we'll see what
wrong?
Ari has
So
to
there's
say.
10 schools in it. And it's because the world. Sorry.
I order food and I stress eat after I hear that information.
All right.
Would you ask him before that?
Huh?
Would you ask him before that?
We're not there. It doesn't matter.
So what do you guys do for the rest of the night? It's kind of a regular night after that.
Actually, I've been boisterously group friendly lately. I'm gonna teach Jordarai some gambling tricks / cheating a little bit.
I feel like we need some combat. We should just go and just fight people in an alley.
We have stuff to do. I mean, we have things we can be doing right now. We already robbed the house. We're not going to find Tia and Blue right now.
It's nighttime right now. Right?
It is
true, but-
getting
And
later.
we can sleep, but the bonds
We
always
don't-
got work for us.
We don't technically have a new objective.
The bonds always got work.
Except
We
for
can always
waiting
ask-
for Arya.
We could ask around. We don't have to wait for Arya. In fact, waiting for Arya might be a waste of our time. We could also always go back and try to figure out what's going on in the Underdark. We met the
Undercellar.
Undercellar.
The Underdark is a much different place.
Sorry, Undercellar. We met Ribbons, and he's pretty famous. He might have some stuff for us to do. Since we're all
So
getting sneaky for some reason.
But also, you've been up since like this morning, as you got up early to go up
I'm just saying, once
to Upper City.
we take our risks,
Yeah.
that's great. But tomorrow, there's lots of stuff we can still do.
does Maeve care that I share the No.
No.
So I guess when we like reunite, I let you guys know that Maeve told me she recognized that symbol.
She thinks she recognizes
She
it.
thinks she recognized that symbol on the flesh golem, and it is the symbol of the dead 3 evil gods who lost much of their power and now operate as one deity.
Did you write that? Or is it already in D&D?
It's already indeed. They're actually, if I don't know how good you guys' memories are, but it's possible inspiration later on if you can pull up any details because you've dealt with some of this before. So
In this,
not in this game.
Not in this game.
It's just for these two.
Not in the Dragonborn, the one before it.
I know. That's what I said.
The candle thing.
The candle thing. I know.
So dope.
Damn it. Damn it. Damn it.
So
damn it.
yeah.
The candle thing was the shit.
All right.
So
So
that's
you guys.
happening. Maeve doesn't think that's.
I love
that's
how
a
much
good
we
thing.
argued about that stupid name, and we ended up coming right back to it. We put out like 40 more names. Like, oh, candle thing is the best.
If you guys have nothing else specific to talk about or discuss, you just kind of drink away the night. And
I've been drinking rum instead of wine or ale, so whenever we're ready for bed, we're ready for bed. But if this guy wants to dice with me, we can dice all night.
You definitely don't want to stay here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can buy a room, but
Yeah.
you know, just remember at night, when the mist rolls in, it's pretty dangerous to walk the
totally.
city streets to
Well,
back to your fated
And
sign.
we have a space at the Faded Signs. We say, we'll
Yeah.
absolutely go back there. I mean, that's penny pinching.
Yeah.
That's Erebor all the way.
Yeah, we can go back to
Alright.
where we have rooms.
So you guys head back through the misty streets, which for some reason, after facing a flesh golem and hearing about dead gods and conspiracies, seem a little bit more menacing and cloying.
I was going to say, and I would suggest something. Are we back at the Faded
You're
Sign?
do you want to be back?
I'm just asking you, you were describing the
I
exterior.
was describing the getting there.
I have a suggestion once we get there, if we get there.
Yeah, you are formidable looking enough that any street gangs and folks, like, there's never a time that there's not someone on the streets, so it's not really unlikely, but
It's the gate.
you also suspect that many of these people are looking for easy scores. And you guys don't look like an easy scorer anymore.
Yeah.
So you make your way back to the Faded Sign.
All right. So my suggestion is that whether we think we have or haven't, we've stirred a little bit up tonight.
We
in
for
the,
sure have.
We've been in the undercellar. We've been in the Mermaid. We got caught by guards. We fought people and ran them off. That's how we met Ribbons. Was like that guy's the boss. So people are looking for us. People are thinking about us. People are probably throwing their nets out for us.
I'm gonna get a haircut and change my hair color.
No, ask me what she means.
Is, like, you're concerned about
Conceal myself.
ribbons and nobles?
No,
Like,
I'm just saying that we had
there were
interactions.
devils and demons that we just double-crossed.
I was walking
Days
around and tell
ago.
you that she wasn't excited about this.
We pissed off a lot of people. There's still
double-crossed
huffers.
those
The
demons.
artifacts, the demons, the devils.
They're
Like,
gone. That shit's over.
oh, that's never going to come back to bite us. Like, she's like, and you're worried about the Thieves Guild?
So I was.
How about our mortal souls?
I was getting to that. My suggestion would be that the four of us share lodging this evening, but leave the lights on in the other room. So in other words, go into that hotel room, put the lights on, open a window or something, and then we share a single room and see if people try to get in or do anything.
That's fine.
I mean, these two don't sleep anyway, so.
Yeah, perfect. Well, I'm fucking going to sleep. I've had too much rum and too much fun.
So you guys all pile into one room. These two take the beds while one of you probably sits in trances and the other one keeps watch. This is where you, Ervar, need to make a perception with disadvantage.
Perfect. Is it because I'm trying to sleep?
It's because you're drunk and trying to sleep.
Should have reined it in a little bit.
Quit
You
getting
fucking
drunk.
bitch.
I know.
And you're not drunk. I mean, you've just
No, I get
drank.
it. That's pretty good. Ooh,
Disadvantage?
Disadvantage, so you take the
Yeah.
lowest. Yeah.
that's great. And this is
Perception.
oops. Do that every time. Unnatural 20.
All right. So as you're getting ready for bed and all that, you see Maeve gets ready for bed as well. She pretty much she takes her cloak, she makes it as long as she can, and she takes that off and puts her pack and all of her stuff, like her boots, her gloves, her belt, and everything, all get packed up into one bundle in her cloak, and she wraps that up and puts it right next to her pillow. But she pulls out a book, a little black book that she flips open and starts leafing through.
Hey, what's in that book?
Oh, this is the thing that was teaching me thieves can't.
May I see it? Maybe I could give you some pointers that expedite your learning process.
She looks tentative, but also curious.
Can give her the air of our eye.
Give me the air of our eye.
Hopefully this is not as bad as it used to be.
Is that all you guys
What
got?
is this?
There's
Is
still
this
like
charm?
half
What is
left
it?
in this. Persuasion. You guys want more? I mean, this is still like half full.
How much did you pour in?
I thought I poured too much.
Did you
Yeah,
pour
there's
half
a
of what
lot
was
in there.
left?
Apparently not.
Give yourself. No. Let me see that. I mean, if you guys don't care. Hey, Now split what's left.
Alright. Erevar.
This would be
Persuasion.
Alright.
And you want a swashbuckler this time. I hope it's more effective than Isarok.
22. The Erevar is much more effective than the Isarok.
She's like... Alright, she hands it over to you.
Excellent. So, some of the things I'm looking for is similarities and differences to regular Thieves' Cant, because this is from a different source. I also want to look for symbols that I might have recognized from other places as we've walked around town, because that would be something I'd be looking for, especially when I found out there's a separate cant, because I'm looking for Tiamua. And then, if I'm able to decipher it, are there names written in this, because this is for a faction?
It is absolute gibberish.
Fuck.
Yep. It's...
So, as I look at this book, it's different from the cant that I learned. How can you understand my cant, but I can't understand yours?
I mean, you can't, like... She, like, flips to a page, like, this page is just terminology, and flips to another page. This is just symbols. And both of the pages are just lines and lines of nonsensical... Like, it's like you're reading a what is it, a carol? Alice in Wonderland? Lewis Carroll?
Lewis Carroll.
Yeah. Like a Jabberwocky, a nonsensical...
Gotcha.
Like, they almost could be thoughts, but some of the words have no meanings,
Okay.
or they...
Almost get it, but not quite.
It does. It does feel that way. It does feel like you sat there and you looked at it for a while, and you're like, "There's a code in here," and you just you kind of blunt forced it, and you almost feel like, "Am I just too dumb? Is this such good cant?" But she points at a page and says, "These are symbols, and it's just writing."
Because
to you.
I don't get my questions fell on like deaf pages basically because I can't decipher this. The page that's symbols, can I work out what they mean with her right now?
There's no symbols. To you, it's just...
Well, that's what I'm saying. Can she explain why these are symbols to me?
She can't understand that you can't understand it. She's
She-
like, what do you mean it's right here?
She puts her finger on the book and traces something that is not any line congruent.
This is a magical book. Motherfucker. I go,
And then when, like, you do that, she goes... She kind of has a little... Okay. Like a little... And almost a sigh of relief. She's like...
that I can't read it.
You don't know if you can't read it. It could be something else. But it's... She didn't and did want to give it to you. And then when you couldn't read it, she's kind of a little bit relieved.
Yeah, that makes sense. Trust goes down a few points.
I mean, Maeve did open up a portal to hell.
And is mad at the way we handled it. Which
Can
is
we
really
add something on
She's not mad at the way you handle it. She's mad that you forget that you just double-crossed demons and devils.
Erevar forgets a lot of stuff. He's only thinking about himself.
What?
I
Sorry, what
was
was
gonna say,
that?
can we add something on D&D Beyond that's kind of like The Sims, where like when you like, you know how you have friendships and how good your friendships are, like you could take actual trust points off of your like characters.
There are mechanics for that. There are optional mechanics of relationship bonds between people.
That reminds me a lot of that End of the World, because even before I did the Cthulhu part, there's that stress, mental stress, where you start breaking, where you roll for an option, like I want to try to pick this lock. Okay, well, roll against these two disadvantages because
I
there's...
want to try to run away from this rent-a-cop. Oh, you trip on the sidewalk outside the
God damn
sociology
it.
building.
You guys fucking buried that guy. He didn't even get anywhere near you. You were in your car and drove off before he...
Did we? I thought
No.
You set the alarms off exiting the building.
Wait, what is this?
It was a
A
different
game we played.
I ran it into the World campaign and it got a little nutty at some point.
No, I failed hard trying to escape
Oh, that's what you
from
did.
him.
Yeah.
You had to hobble him back to the
I was-
car. That's
I was-
right.
Because he broke his, like, he twisted his ankle.
he twisted
Yeah.
I was
his ankle.
successing rolls the shit out of
Well,
that
that's
game
right, yeah.
until that point where the rent-a-cop showed up, and for
That's
some
right.
reason I was just
you
like,
twisted your ankle
nah.
and he had to drag you. You guys had a head start because he wasn't assigned to the building, he was assigned to the area. That's
yeah.
right.
That
That
sounds
is
fun.
correct. It was cool. We'll have to do it into the world sometime because I've written a couple of neat ones.
So, you guys go to sleep. Who's taking first watch of the two of you?
I will.
Make a perception.
Look at it taking notes. Maeve has a magical book.
It's alright. Be surprised. Mine's only multiple pages because we play. This is our 14th session.
This is technically our 11th because one section was cut in half.
No, it's 14 week, and we've missed a couple.
That would be a 24.
All right.
Dang.
There seems to be a scuffle out on the street. Outside of your window. When you go to investigate, though, it doesn't seem to have anything to do with you guys. Though there does seem to be a person in distress on the street, if you care, in the middle of Baldur's Gate, which could be a trap or someone actually needs help.
Can I see what's happening?
There's way too much mist. You just see a figure kind of
it's their
on the
problem.
ground. That is very much a Baldur's Gate way of thinking, but he is not from Baldur's Gate.
Remember, maybe I would have given you this quip before. While you're in Baldur's Gate, what would Erevar do?
Yeah. But
I
also,
feel like we've been here long enough to know, like, that what we would normally do is inappropriate in this city, you know?
that's true. You guys know how it works. It's just what you do at any given moment defines you as a person. And this is, like, you have to understand that if you wake these two up in any way, you've interrupted their sleep, and they have to they're not going to get their rest.
Actually, I was going to say, this might be a perfect time since it's rest anyway that I'm going to use the bathroom and she's going to the bathroom. Let's go ahead and take our 5-minute break or 10-minute break.
For those watching, the 4 viewers, we're gonna play an ad.
So we got associate several months ago. Associate.
Affiliate
several months ago. Twitch has recently decided to go ahead and allow affiliates to make money off of ads and things like that. We're not huge fans. We don't do it too often, but we do like to throw it in there just for a couple cents for us towards getting new cameras and getting new lighting and things like that. We like to upgrade the system occasionally.
If you started the stream and you saw an ad, you're not going to see one now. If you started the stream and didn't see an ad, you're going to see one now, unless you're already a subscriber. You don't see ads at that point. But we're gonna kick it off.
Bear with us. Give us a minute one.
We're gonna take a little break.
That's how I knew my sub was out of date. It was because when I looked at the stream, I got an ad.
Oh, and you got the ad while you got the ad
too, and I was like, "What the fuck? Oh yeah, I forgot. I had trouble on my phone. At home, I'm just like click, but here it never on the iPhone. It never says like, hey.
Oh hey.
What?
I can disable pre-roll ads now.
Oh.
So only ads we play work.
Do we get money for the pre-roll ads?
Yes.
Well, then let them go.
Yeah.
Fuck y'all that come here for the first time.
If you're good at something, never do it for free. That's the joke.
We're not good at this.
Honestly, it's not like the ads are that they're like 15 to 30 second ads.
And people kind of know what's going to happen anyway.
They upgraded us to the.
Like if you know you're about to join a new Twitch channel that you're not a subscriber to, you know that you're probably gonna see an ad.
Hell, how many ads did we sit through just to tell people they were playing Barbie Bumper Ball?
Yeah.
We did that like 3 different days not in a row, but like 3 different days. Where I was like, "This is hilarious." Taylor's like, "How'd your day go?" I'm like, "I made fun of people that were playing." What's the actual bumper crash? No, a Rocket League. That's the actual name.
Yeah.
You trying to think of the actual name?
Yeah, I couldn't remember it.
They've upgraded to the new dashboard, and I don't even know where the. Oh, there it is. Big button right at the top, and I just clicked it. All right, so we're on ad. Those that are still here, you'll still be able to talk. We'll answer questions. If you have questions for the DM, questions for the players. Any thoughts,
Questions
insights?
about life in general.
Like you guys specifically kind of wanted to avoid overly talky and all this kind of games and do more combat oriented, but then every time I put up any downtime or any small things, you guys talk and discuss the hell out of it. I like it. This is my kind of game. This is the game I kind of enjoy running.
Well, sometimes for me, it's it takes a lot for me to do that. You know what I mean? It's really not comfortable for me to sit here and actually role play my character and speak in my character's voice, and so that's it gives me the opportunity when we do that to kind of practice that, because I can go into a fight and I can make strategic fighting decisions.
I have these options. I push this button. I do this attack.
Yeah. When he told me, he was like you deal with Arya. That's that makes me feel nervous. I'm I have to And I know I don't necessarily have to act like my character, you know, but I kind of like that where, like, I would speak to you as my character instead of being like, well, I guess I would say, because for me, if I was watching, I feel like I'd want that person to be acting as their character, you know what I mean? So I want to get better at that. You want any of this?
Sure. You should watch a couple of the episodes of Critical Role if you haven't. They're like all voice actors, professional voice actors, so you can't like really pitch yourself against them, but it's good to see like how they do interact with each other if you want to try to get more comfortable with playing your character. And if you want to get the other way, I have a video that is, you know, playing D&D not as your character. Like, you're not playing your character, you're dictating your character's actions. Right. So, I
guess the way I would play,
both.
like when we play Talisman, how it's very like, your character's given to you and it's fed to you, you know what I mean? Like, so you don't really have to sit there and roleplay because your character does that for you. Like, I feel like that's kind of how, like, I've been playing Laura Dove is, like, you know who she is as a character, and you know that I'm controlling her, but you don't associate, like, I'm not her. You know what I mean? Like,
you're not, or you haven't, and what is it? Like, you did pick a very esoteric character. You're this almost immortal elf from another world. Yeah. This bright fairyland.
I don't feel like that. Me as a person, I don't feel like I'm that like noble and like well spoken and stuff like that, so it's hard for me to even play her.
Then you chose like monk, so like a more meditative but also combative, and you're bringing through an astral avatar of yourself. You're trying to reconcile who you are spiritually and who you are physically. So that's like a lot of like, that's a complex character that you created. And of course, when you looked at it, you're like, oh cool, elves look cool, and I want to punch stuff, so monk is cool. But then now that you're getting deeper into like the lore and everything, you're like, oh well, this is a real high-end complex character.
I think we steamrolled you a little bit because your first character you played was a monk, and you did a really good job. So we're like, you're our monk.
And she liked monk.
I think that it was good because I've gotten the chance to play a monk consistently, and learn what it means to learn a character. You know what I mean? So it's better than playing a million different characters and knowing, you know what I mean? Like now I actually learn like what do I need as a character, because I had to build a monk that was able to do, you know, multiple things.
And the monk thing all came back from you just asking him what role-playing was. Yeah. And you said...
That's right.
You're like, what kind of character do you want to be?
Pass through town.
Yeah, and you're like, I want to wrestle. So like, oh, well, that's a monk.
The only other character I've played is that, the Dragonborn. No, was it Dragonborn? No, what was she? When I ran that one.
I wasn't here for that.
Oh no, the Yanti.
The Yanti, yes.
Yeah, you were there for that. She was the snake person. She didn't run it. She was.
I
just meant like I was the lead character.
I ran it,
making the decision.
But she was the leader. So she was a Yanti. You were a dwarf.
Arkansas, wasn't it?
Nope. There was one session we played. Yeah, we've had this exact. Like we could go back and find it, but. Two people played, and I thought it was you two, and you were gone.
It was you because I kept looking to you for help.
And then you came in with the dwarf the next game.
You have to make a decision.
You were the rogue scout,
That's right.
And you were the dwarven barbarian. Or fighter. Remember, that's when you.
Yes, that's right.
Oh, it was you two.
I'd left out
because you two went down that.
Juke. Yeah, I had.
You were trying to find that statue, and you double won your poison save, and got poisoned as a dwarf.
Yeah. Right.
And that little halfling scout that was with you was a demon, and he's like, "Okay, you got me through all the traps. Give me the statue now." And she actually intimidated a demon.
I did do that.
Yep.
It was Juke, and you and I had talked about the character in certain different ways, like what would I do about this? How would I shape change? Blah blah blah.
That's when I figured out that like, wow, you made this character all wrong.
Well, I did. We kind of did it all at once, and I threw stuff in there, and then when we actually sat down to play, I was like, what have I done? I didn't put anything into like.
Because sometimes I feel like you pick
the dragon, the black dragon.
And you pick all these crazy.
That was so. It wasn't the same. It was the same characters. It wasn't the same game. The first one was you went for that mound.
Dexterity out, and I didn't.
You went and found that burial mound. It was a spiral staircase down. There's snakes everywhere.
So I changed my face.
All to get that statue. And the second one was to go get an artifact from the aqueducts, and you beat that Black
playing
Dragon.
this
Yeah,
Mist Walk.
These two were in the
Yeah.
water. Yeah, like the second thing where all of you were there, you were in an aqueduct again because I love aqueducts. There's a huge basin, and the Black Dragon was like it dragged both of you into the water, and he was the only one left standing, fighting the Black Dragon.
Yeah.
We were in that swirl.
Swirl, yep.
Water. Somehow
Whirlpool.
we got out. Well, anyway, last
Well,
thing, like,
because I won.
like if I ever was to create another character, which I probably will one day, but like for a different campaign, like, and I knew that it was going to be a longer campaign, like, it makes me want to play like the dirtiest, like you're kind of like sketchy, like it's hard to play a person that like is more distinguished than you are as an actual person, because I'm like, I'm not a fancy like elf, like
You want to
noble
be
elf.
You want to be a half-orc chef.
I'm gonna be able
got dragged into some sort of battle.
And now just hits people with a frying pan.
Yeah, pretty much.
That sounds pretty good.
Speaking of making other characters and things like that, Mitch is going to come into a lot more free time now because school's over.
next week.
So we're discussing picking up more streams another night, possibly.
One of the things I want to do is I bought the Saltmarsh GM handbook, basically. So there are some.
Adventure module.
Yeah, so it's 7 different adventures. We might not get all the way through, or whatever, but I want to at least do the first one and see how we go through it. If we like it, enjoy it, like that. So that would be some land and some sea, which I like, but I won't be playing a player character. So it'd be like a coastal game where you guys have to decide what you like and don't like about each other, what you want to do together, that sort of stuff. And then I can run a pretty set module from that book for it.
So we'll discuss scheduling and all that, but hopefully we're going to have more streams where I want to bring back Wileyverse Mitch. We might bring that back on either Tuesdays or Sundays, depending on which one works better. But we also want to pick up another game night, whether it's another game by me or Mitch taking the reins and running Ghosts of the Saltmarsh.
Plus, if school works out the way that I'm trying to get it done right now, I'll be done at 3 every day. I'll still have papers to grade and things like that, but if we want to play it like 5...
Well, I can't play it.
well,
It'd be like,
play like 6 or
6 or 7, but it depends on you
That
guys'
means that,
schedules as well.
That means
You're
people on the
late
East
night
Coast will
people.
get us at 9:30 instead of 1 in the morning or 12:30. Meanwhile, West Coast, they'll be just getting off work,
Yeah.
and as soon as they sit down and eat
I think
their
you'll be
dinner,
hard pressed to find us on a day that's at 5 or 6.
Yeah, we'll discuss. I mean,
Because that's when we
that's
start work.
the big bad evil guy, the main boss of
know.
all D&D games.
And now I've walked
is
away
schedules
from bar
that work
and everybody else,
together.
Everyone else does the bar work now. I'm off
All
early.
right.
I go in early. All right.
So, back from the break, you guys have slept. You see, well, you heard an altercation outside, and you see what seems to be a body on the ground out in the street in front of the faded sign. It's kind of off to the side, but still, your window looks into an alley, but you can see the street from the edge, and you just see this shape sitting in the mist. You open up the window, put an arrow in it for good measure, and shoot it.
Jordan, I want to possibly lose an arrow to that. So,
Gotta get my arrow back. You have to go downstairs.
right.
Fuck it.
So I'd probably just ignore this whole situation.
All right. You trade off trancing halfway through the night, so Lord of, you're up for perception.
Yay.
I can see the sunrise and I perceive.
Oh wow, my perception's really high now too. Is this the first time I've played since I leveled?
Since 5th, yeah.
I'm like, wow.
First day.
Like you have
It's
not
3
got to
weeks.
attack yet with your new D6 damage.
Yeah, we missed 2 weeks in a row.
Because now my insight and my perception are set +7.
Yep. Because in everyone's proficiency bonus went up by 1, so
And I wasted it. Well, not
Good
that
thing
bad,
it's
I guess.
+7.
It's not a bad
This is a
score.
perception.
yes. You get a 9?
Yeah, 13
Okay.
total. Wait,
13 total.
Wait, is it a 9? No, it is the 6.
6, yeah, you're
It's a 6. I thought it was a 2. Like I can't see it from
The
here.
twos
Beat
look
the
like
average
something.
of 10 to 12,
Yeah.
so 13.
13. 13's not bad. You hear someone like walking quietly down the hallway. It's not sneaking. It's just someone trying to not disturb people. But it's still pretty early in the morning. It's later in your shift. It's probably getting to around and you guys got to bed pretty late, and if you want to get your 8 hours in, it's 5 a.m. ish. Not that you guys have clocks or anything like that, but just a reference. There's someone kind of coming down the hallway, and you know that there's other rooms up here as well.
Is it bananas and pajamas?
Well, I think that I'm probably like pretty paranoid by nature, so I would just quietly like press myself against the door, like press my ear and listen a little closer.
Like the quiet steps keep going until they sound like they're almost in front of your door, and then they stop. And then, like the door, like because you have your ear pressed against it, and it's set in its door jam, so like you're pushing it up, it kind of goes like something's pushing against the door, and you just hear this quietest little, and then the footsteps walk away.
Somebody was just leaving a note or something. I guess I'll definitely wait until the footsteps completely recede. Right? Yeah, they're gone.
This is the music. You're opening the door.
I'm gonna open the door.
Are you just opening it a little to look like down the doorway? Because the doorway opens, you're not looking down the hallway that the footsteps came from. The hallway to get out is this way. The door opens this way. Like, you're opening the handle so you can see out this way. So are you gonna like swing it open to look around, or are you just gonna open it a little to look down, like look at the door and deeper into the hallway?
I'm just gonna, just a little bit.
So,
Just a scope.
yeah, there's a note hanging from the door with a tack
I'm just
pushed into the... it's from the bartender. His signature's at the bottom. It says, Foreman Ice Pick has work for you. See her first thing in the morning.
I thought for sure it was our tab. This is a big tab they wait till the middle of the night. There you go.
You got a couple of your drinks comped by Aria, but I do need to take some money from you. But we'll do lifestyle upkeep later.
I'm gonna haggle it to death.
Can't haggle lifestyle, because if you haggle it down, like if you haggle the price of a drink down, you know what you're gonna do, right? You're gonna drink more.
Yeah.
Like you have 10 gold in your pocket, you're gonna spend all 10 gold. All haggling does is get you more drinks.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So, yep, that's what it says. Foreman Ice Pick wants to see you in the morning. And with that, if nothing else, it's morning. Everyone wakes up.
I tell them we have work to do, I guess.
Well, we need to be seen. She might be like, you're out of the Cardinal Bond because
Fuck you guys.
Joe broke into a noble's house.
Yeah, could be. Everything could be crashing down right now. Anyway, want to go down and have breakfast? So you go down, you eat, you get a little pick-me-up morning cordial.
It's a rum to kind of chase away the hangover.
Maeve has a breakfast soup, aka Bloody Mary. You guys eat, you guys drink, you guys look at the note. How early do you want to just walk across the street to the office, or not? Like you know where she's at, and it's literally right across the street.
I feel like we don't really have anything else to do. We might as well just... We could always be making money.
Every day she's hustling.
I've got a good amount of gold, I feel like.
I bet I have.
How much do you have, Mitch?
You go first.
You go first. I think I have 681.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
Get out of here.
Dude, I don't. I bought the cheapest. Oh, 656.
You
I
spent
did buy
money.
some stuff. Yeah. I'm right behind you.
By over 100.
What do you mean? How much does he have?
Like 514 it looked like?
What?
Some other stuff.
That's it?
I also haven't sold a lot of things that I had.
Wait a minute.
Wait a minute, what? You're like at 480.
He spent money down in the
546.
down in the gallery
bud.
in the row.
And that's
You
after
guys
you
didn't-
guys didn't.
That's alright. I bought stuff to benefit the group.
Y'all stole money off of me. More or less.
You gave it to us.
You're a dumbass that got all
You were
hammered.
drunk.
You don't even know
sounds
about that.
good. Like we didn't even we barely had to roll like a 6 to
No,
trick
you can't even hold a grudge because you have no clue. No clue.
You actually don't know that we did that to you.
Yeah. Player
I know.
knowledge.
Player knowledge has to be separated from character knowledge.
Just saying.
So are you heading over in the morning?
I mean, unless you guys can think of anything else we need to do, money is money. Yeah, we might as well hit Bridger up.
Okay. Glad that you remember her first name, even though I never say it. You always
You already
pull it
gave
out.
him inspiration.
I know.
No.
I've already given him inspiration for that.
I like
but
how we're like
I always
fighting not to
no.
kill each
I
other.
always say Foreman Ice Pick. I never like. Besides the first time I introduced her to you, I've never said her first name again, and he always remembers it.
That's the actual point in notes. They do well.
So you head across the street, and her office is just as cluttered as ever. She's kind of like looking down, scribbling at something. When you guys walk in, she even kind of ignores you for a second as she's like mid-thought and need to get it out. And then she looks up and she's like, "Oh, right. Oh, hold on." Her voice is Russian.
Russian.
Yeah.
Scottish, yeah, she's Russian.
She's like major iceborg. It's like, yes, come in, quick. Is that what you're wearing today? Well, look, we've got work for you. It's a very, very important client. Well-to-do, respectable. Could give us a lot of clout here. So we've already negotiated pricing, but the details she wanted to hand off only to you. So she's coming to the Faded Sign later today. So be respectable. Don't drink too much.
Do we look disgusting?
Clean yourselves. No, like you guys keep yourself pretty much immaculate.
I'm like, I feel.
I mean, he's a swashbuckler. He lives by his looks.
Yeah.
So, and Maeve's, doesn't do much to get unclean. She always mends her clothes constantly, and so you guys are,
Whoever we're meeting seems important to Bridger, is what it is.
yeah. She's like, she smells a big fish. She wants to impress and get more work from this person. So
we should wear our
Invested in.
masks then.
You're not going to be superheroes.
said that she'll be at the Faded Sign. Which is just
Yes, because I need those.
the client. We'll be at the Faded Sign that afternoon. So
Did she give us their name?
she's like, I do not have a name. I just have money.
I totally misunderstood. I thought she said she had no name. I was like, I know her name.
No, the client.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
So, anything you guys want to do for the day before you sit down to wait for the client?
Probably too soon to check in with Aria, right?
She's going to send for us.
Oh, is she?
No, that's Tiamua.
Oh.
Arya, I mean, if you wanted to go down to the Blushing Mermaid, you might check, but it is pretty early. You don't know her schedule.
And honestly, it's been a long couple of days. If you go, I'm just going to hang out here.
Might as well just wait for the client. Try not to get too drunk.
The challenge to get more drunk. Just throw some steeples.
All right. So you guys wait around the Faded Sign, maintain your equipment, clean stuff, bathe, all the normal stuff that you just do in a normal day. Then head down, in the afternoon to wait for the client, all sitting at a table, having drinks, having some food. When about late afternoon, it's just starting to get to the time when people will start saying good evening instead of afternoon. The door opens up, and Arya walks in. And Arya looks around the room, like right over top of you, and then looks over to Britra, who had just came over, Foreman Ice Pick, to her normal table. Looks over at her, and she stands up at attention, and she's like, and points at you guys. And Arya goes, oh, and walks over. She's like, it is a pleasure to meet you all. You come highly recommended. I thank you for meeting with me today and accepting this job. Do you mind if I cast a spell for privacy?
Well, she's acting like she doesn't know was.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I picked up on that. Nice to meet you.
Is it okay if she casts a spell for privacy?
Okay.
We're dealing with Arya, so I'm deferring to you.
Yeah, I mean, at this point,
She starts like waving her hand in front of her face and whispering, and then the whispers start to like echo over top of each other, and then her mouth starts moving and the whispers keep going, and she kind of lifts it into the air, and then all the sound kind of closes in around you. You can still hear the bartender clanking down mugs and conversations happening, but they sound very muffled and far away. And she sits down. Thank you for meeting me. I thought we would make this official, since, you are mercenaries. Here is what I would like. It has come to my attention that the Janeth clan, or the Janeth family, may have dealings... You already have those notes, I hope. It's who you stole the wine bottle from. The Janeth family may have dealings with the Dead Three and may actually be involved in a cult. This is something that could help myself and my employer greatly in negotiations. So here is the job. I would like you to find some tangible evidence that links the Janeth family to the Dead Three. I specifically know that they may have ties with the god Merkel, the god of death.
Is that how we could have gotten it first earlier if we mentioned that?
Merkle.
Myrkul? Merkel, yeah. The Dead Three, if you are not aware, used to be very prominent evil gods. There is Bane, the god of tyranny, Baal, the god of murder, and Merkel, the god of death. All of you guys know of Kelemvor as the god of death. He is not an evil god. He is a god that shepherds the dead to their next place type of thing.
Baal is B-A-A-L?
B-H-A-A-L.
Okay.
Did I do that? Steve Urkel, yeah. Merkel. One of their previous games, my one and only total party kill actually had to do with conspiracies with Merkel and another evil god.
That's what lured Robert in. He said, we must cleanse this place. I'm like, we don't really have to cleanse it. We're just going to get in there and see what's going on.
Alright. So she says, if you can find me something physical that ties the family with worship of these three, I will pay you 600 gold, 150 gold apiece. This is something like notes, prayers, or worship paraphernalia with the Janeth family name, someone's signature on it, or at least by someone's hand that I can recognizably identify. Maybe a book or manuscript with their names in it. Anything will do, really, as long as it's physical and it has direct ties to both the family and the cult. If this cannot be accomplished, if they're just wearing this paraphernalia, or you meet one of them that are wearing the paraphernalia, a scandal is not as good as a blackmail, but it still works nonetheless. If you eliminate any member of the Janeth family that is in the service of the cult in the course of your investigations, and that body were happen to be found by, say, the Flaming Fist or the Watch, that will net you 100 gold each, 400 gold total.
So, this sounds too good to be true because it kind of is. We've already snuck into the Janeth family's basement. We did some damage. We stole stuff. We killed Flesh Golem. if we say yes to this, we're going to be putting up against a lot better guards, possibly. They'll be ready for us. I mean, this is going to be more complicated than just doing heist.
That's if you want to go back in there.
Yeah.
Are these terms acceptable?
I told you, you're in charge of dealing with Arya. I just put my 2 cents in. This is going to be really tough.
Oh, so I just want to get something out of the way real quick. You did tell her everything that you remembered.
Yeah.
And that's you. Did you add in any details? Did you add any of the details? Did you add any of the details that you saw that she didn't bring up?
I would have corroborated the skull and images, but I don't like giving up information for free, so probably not.
Okay.
I mean, I feel like we have to do. I mean,
And
we have to do this.
You don't
And
know her anything
you don't-
anymore.
you don't know her anything,
but
but she's
hired.
good at
She
job.
went through the actual Cardinal Bond.
Mhm.
Oh, that's right. She has a contract.
Yeah.
and
So
we have to
she
accept
wants
that.
to legitimize this blackmail. Like,
Yeah.
hey, I heard about the Janeth family being, worshippers of the Dead 3, so I hired a mercenary company to investigate, and this is what I found. So, like, she's legitimizing this blackmail. Like, this is a paper trail that she is creating for her clout for her world that she's living in.
We could find out.
But you can say no. I mean, you can turn down any contract.
We could find out if
You see Britra over there, like,
heist to this. We could figure out if the Janeth family is looking for any people to do dirty work for them, like through like the underweb of people, and then we
Right.
could take a job from them. I'm just saying.
So-
yeah, as well, like, you're getting into the actual, like, planning stage, but all that needs to be known right now is,
Yeah.
are you accepting the job? Because, like,
I was trying to justify.
Yeah,
accepting the
Well,
job.
you're
Like,
right. If you want to
when-
go through justification with me before we start, when you throw lines out like that, the more you ask, the more people know what you're doing. So if we're going to accept this job, then no, we're not going to do that. We're just going to do it, or we're not going to.
Right. Yeah.
yeah, but you can discuss how you're going to do it once she's gone. But she needs to, to make it official.
Erevar likes money. That's 1,000 gold split 4 ways. That's really good.
I mean, you're saying I know that I can like talk to
1,000
Arya, but
gold.
this is a decision
600.
for the whole group,
Plus,
so it's
if
not
we
just me
throw-
saying yes
No,
or
it's
no.
600 or 400. If you get blackmail, it's 600. If you create a scandal, it's 400.
Oh, I'm sorry.
They're not
you were
both.
saying that- I thought you were saying that
No.
if we threw the dead bodies, it was 100
Yeah,
each.
if so, for instance, if you got a holy symbol,
No, I
right?
thought the
Yeah.
option was
Just-
you could
no.
add to that by doing this. So.
Yeah, if you just find a holy symbol in their house, that doesn't link the Janeth family because, now you have a holy symbol and you could say all day long, I found this in their house, but there's nothing tying it to that house. You could have just had that made and
Yeah.
done that. So she needs something that either directly ties, but if one of the Janeth family is wearing the holy symbol, wearing the garb, has evil instruments on them, if you just kill that person and let the body get found, that creates a scandal, which, gives some time
Also
for
slows
everyone
the
to
Janeth
leverage
family.
against them, but that is not as good as blackmail. So,
A special hi to Wiley.
Too bad.
no more car bombs.
No mas, but no. Well,
What?
yeah. It's not just my decision. Is what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I deal with Arya, but
So, like, you guys can discuss all kinds of planning for it. It's just, are you taking the job, are you?
My thing was, I was giving you information to make your decision based on, which was things will be tougher to get in this time. Not only have we been kind of caught leaving the underseller,
oh yeah,
we've
I
also,
get all that.
yeah, okay,
I
so
get that.
then when you make your decision, keep that in mind. We're comfortable.
It's like, no. Okay, well, fuck me. Next game. You can say no. Like, I have other stuff planned. It's
I'm
fine.
down. I mean, but you guys have a say in it too. It's not just me saying yes or no. That's
I
what I'm
said
saying.
one.
Yeah, he did have a say.
yes.
His say is, I go with whatever you say.
I go with whatever you say. My only opinion was that if we do this again, you need to be ready to actually go in and sneak and do some shit this time because this is going to be harder. We're going to probably need another way in.
Jordarai.
This seems to be what we're doing at this point, so let's do it.
All right. So she pulls out the folio from the Cardinal Bond. It has the Cardinal Bond imprint on it, and she opens it up, and it's one of your contracts. You've seen a million of these. She's already signed it, so just your team needs to sign it now.
Bum.
So you
Back to
ships. You guys all sign. Like you see Britra. Like now I'm saying her name all the time now because I said I never said her name. You see Foreman Icepick like almost unable to contain herself with how excited she is that you guys have accepted the contract with such a prominent client.
So Icepick's probably not really aware of the Blue Dragon then.
Oh, well, she may have done her research, but you don't know what Arya told her and who Arya told her she is. And you know that she's with this blue dragon that's a merchant. You don't know where she stands in the world.
And this is Baldur's Gate money.
Yep.
So.
Is this a good time to bring up what the information was worth that led to all this?
It was 600 or 400. Like that's she hired you for a job. Yeah.
Well, that's not fair.
That's how contracts work.
Yeah.
No, I mean when we were like, whoa.
Oh, whether we're going to sell her blackmail or not?
Yeah, well, you have to get the blackmail. Like
Yeah.
just knowing the information. Like she could go to someone else.
Yeah. But she
And-
wouldn't have known about any of that.
And she'll give you a finder's fee if you want. If you don't take the job, she'll give you some money on the side.
You're right.
but-
This is a case of us getting ourselves a job, basically. Like we did something, and then our contact was like, "That was cool. You should do some more like that."
Yeah.
That's what's.
And also, you know Arya outside of this. This is a contrivance for her to legitimize work. Like she didn't hire you through the Cardinal Bond to steal a wine bottle because that's not what mercenaries do. But she is hiring you this to legitimize what you're about to do and what she is getting. Though outside of that, you can always negotiate for more. Like you can say, hey, that information led you back to us, and it's great that you gave us work, but a little bit more because we even gave you that information.
Hey, thanks, Tabletop. We always appreciate you being here. We'll shout you out at the end, of course.
Yeah, thank you. But yes, so this dealing is also completely separate from your dealings with her at the Blushing Mermaid. But I mean, it is the most amount of gold I think you've been offered yet.
We have for a single mission. But if you want, I can try to talk her into. What was your charisma? What is your? It's
Her persuasion is definitely not as high as yours.
yeah. Okay, so I was gonna say I can still talk her into. I can be like, hey, I'll just do that. Hey, since we're accepting this, that's great, but doing this a second time.
Love you guys.
Doing this a second time in a place that we've already been to, and trying to get something very specific like this. That's kind of.
But we can't say that right now because Richard can hear.
Nope.
And
No one can hear outside.
Oh, she's
Yeah.
outside of it.
I'm
Yeah.
telling her that what we're looking for
Okay.
now is not outlined like a bottle of wine or pick a lock. It is bring something back she can use. That's vague. We've already been there. Going
They're on
back's
high
more
alert.
dangerous. Yep.
Yep.
So I'm gonna roll.
There was since the contract is already written, and you had to come up with a really good reason to be able to bargain with her.
$22 or 22 is what I rolled.
$22. That's how much.
It's been a long day for me.
What's happening
my
over
God.
there?
Okay. I mean, she has a hell of a willpower, but congratulations to you for beating it. She's like, that is true. There is a higher element of awareness and danger. Of course, if I was sending anyone else in, I'd probably do it for half this money. But I figured that you would already know. So, all right, I'll add a 200 gold to each. So either 800 gold or 600 gold.
Nice. I'll take that extra $200 as a finder fee. If Joe Wright would just go to sleep sometimes. All right, so there we go. 200 extra bucks. Now we can't say no because that's awesome.
We can't say no because we already signed a contract also.
That's correct.
All right. So she's like, all right, I will leave you to it. Of course, report any of your success or success, I will say, to your foreman. And it'll be made official.
Sweet.
closes up the thing, comes up. As she crosses the kind of boundary around the table, the sound kind of almost like your ears just like popped, and all the sound comes back in. And she heads over to Britra and says some things to her, finalizes the deal. They look at the folio, but Arya keeps it, and then she heads out. So now I guess is the time for discussion of what you're going to do to find this out.
So
I know my plan was a little heisty, but I thought it made some kind of sense.
which was, sorry, say one more time.
I would say,
yeah.
we're talking about the plan now, right? Like,
Yes.
is it an
Yeah.
appropriate
Go for it.
time? The easiest way I feel like to get in the house without having to sneak into it and like fight a bunch of people is to maybe try to get close to the family in like the different way. Like, we have a reputation, so we could take a job from the family because they're obviously involved in some shit. So somewhere they probably need someone to do some dirty work. So say we got to them in that way, we like looked for if they were looking for people to hire.
I like that. The only problem is that we need to find an opportunity to get our way in that way.
Right, but I feel like any way we're gonna find information, like we're gonna be having to look for information, asking people, like there's no way we're just gonna be able to sneak around the house and like find something, you know what I
Unless
mean?
they're letting people in for something else. Like if we wait for like a party or a festival or an invite of some kind, or we can look and see, do they have people over? Are they trying to sell their house? Do they need new servants?
Yeah.
There's lots of different ways to get in, but if we're going to do the
I mean, if we could all get hired as servants.
that's true. If we're going to try to do the get hired by them, we're going to figure out something they need and appeal to that.
That
And
could
they're
be
going to
pretty-
be on high alert.
And it's not a bad way to do that,
Yeah.
but we're going to have to vet. They're going to vet us. They're going to look and see if we are who we say we are and things like that.
Also, Eladrin servants to humans,
A little weird.
probably not
Like,
gonna.
we just had a lot of hardships. Okay?
I mean, me and Erovar could pass.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying. More of like,
Yeah.
use our mercenary like status as like, because like I said, the family's obviously involved in some dark stuff. They probably need some dirty work
But
done.
you're skirting the line of telling them that you know that or not knowing.
Oh yeah, the
Hey,
question.
you
The
get
question
some-
there is,
You're like
how do we
dirty-
make that like
Yeah.
I mean, we also
offer up without being like, hey, we know some shit just happened, and then they're like, how do you
Exactly.
know?
If you walk up, you're like, "Hey, dirty D's done dirt cheap." Like, what makes you think?
No, it
we do
doesn't have to
dirty
be
deeds?
related to that. That's not what I was saying. I was just saying anything like.
we also should find out how many people live in that mansion, because
We do need some more case.
are
work.
all of them cultists, or is it just one, bad egg? It's got to be someone prominent enough to build a laboratory, so it's got to be someone high up in that family, right? And we also, Arya told us about that book. That book had to come from somewhere. Maybe we can ask around about people selling books of flesh golems, or find some other way that, you just don't go back to the same house twice. Like, that's just thief code, right?
That's what I keep saying over and over again. Like going back here, this is the risky part. Is going back.
Is there
here.
some other detail that might be a lead?
Either way, I think like you're saying, we're definitely gonna have to get some information, but we're gonna have to end up back there for some actual physical evidence if we want the highest
Well,
payout.
that's
like
not-
we're gonna end up back
That's
there.
not true, because if we do like his suggestion,
Do.
the suggestion was say the flesh golem is a clue. We could go to the bookseller and be like, hey, have you sold? Here's a couple bucks. Have you sold
Those
incantations required to that?
Those things are, like she said, thousands of gold pieces. So one of those moving through this city, someone had to know.
Yeah.
That's one lead, or one lead you can try to track, but it's going to be a really hard lead. You don't have any people really in the arcane circles.
Or we could even say, we could start even more basic than that and say that, Arya knew they had this rare ass vintage. Where did they get that? Is that person a possible lead?
Or someone had to install that door.
That lock was something I want to talk about, but not.
I mean, that's
something I could figure out.
She's like,
yeah.
that's Gond level stuff. The god of invention, the gnomes. Like, I don't know of anyone else that could build a door like that.
Or anybody else can crank it.
But was there anything else in that room that could be a lead?
I mean, there were chemicals, there was science equipment, there was a lot of darkness. It was kind of dark in there.
I was kind of drunk when we went through all that.
Oh yeah.
So,
all right. So
like in real life.
yes, I know we all were.
I didn't bring the notes. I wasn't that drunk, but I didn't bring the notes.
I don't know if I want to rely on this as a roll, so I'm just gonna remind you. There was a box of body parts.
That's right.
And there was
So
something. There was something odd about them. There was only one thing that wasn't flesh in that box. Do you remember what it is?
It was a dildo.
Yes, just hanging out, big purple one. Bad dragon.
But Maeve grabbed that, so.
No, what was in the box that wasn't human remains?
Some of the wrists of the arms and hands that were in there had red twine around them.
I think I did write that down. I don't know the notes.
He didn't bring his notes.
Yeah, I know. I'm frustrated because even when I don't copy anything down, I still bring the notes back, and I just totally 100% left them in my backpack today. I mean, those are all good because the twine might be specific, like who makes red twine, where do they get it, how often have they been buying it. So we have some good
roll. So I'm gonna have you make a mystery roll.
Okay.
I'm gonna look at your character. I'm gonna look it up and see.
I rolled a 19.
Oh, okay. So you got a 20. By the way.
Is it religion?
It is. Red twine around the wrist is common amongst the poor of Baldur's Gate that seek aid from the Shrine of Suffering, which is run by the clergy of the god Ilmater, the martyr god.
Ooh, so I'll skinny that for sure.
So now that you're thinking like red twine, oh, there's a red twine, and oh no, like the people that go to that shrine and get handouts, they get a little red twine to show their appreciation.
So poor people are being murdered
For body parts.
for body parts.
To make a flesh golem. Or at least poor people's bodies were used.
Dun dun.
Dun, dun. Poor people's bodies were being used as parts for a flesh golem. How they were obtained, but maybe going down to the Shrine of Suffering and asking around, that could be another lead.
So we've got lots of leads now. We'll have to figure out which one we want to do first. Or we can split the party into two of them.
So our options are.
As long as it's the daytime, I'm fine with that.
It's Baldur's Gate.
Yeah, so the options are the lock, the options are the body parts, the options are the twine, the options are the bottle of wine, the book. Or we could even do, even though Erevar suggests against it, we could just look around about the family and see if we can't find some dirt that way. My problem is that anything that we do in any of these routes, the more we ask, the more feelers we put out, the more people know we're looking. We're already...
Ripples come back.
Yeah, we're already really going into some place that's under high alert. So
what if we started with investigating like the actual around the Shrine of Suffering and talking to the people that are disappearing, like they're, because poor people don't have as much like of a, like they're not gonna, okay, this is gonna sound bad,
Yeah.
but you know what I mean, like
they're not really people. You can talk bad about them.
It's not gonna, the information's not gonna travel in the groups, and the groups we're worried about really first. You know
Yeah,
what
I gotcha. Yeah.
If you look at the impact.
Is this going for the red twine?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I was going to suggest.
So, like,
I was going to say it like that, but I was gonna be like,
even Maeve
I'm a
will
poor
like
person.
even Maeve will talk about like
real people.
the how big of a stone are you throwing in the lake, because that's how many ripples are going to come back. Like if you start asking about the family, then the family is going to hear that people are asking about them, and especially like right after they've got robbed and their flesh golem got killed, that's going to be suspicious. If you start asking for a book of flesh golems, like you might as well just throw a boulder in, because even if you find, like, if it goes back to the person that sold them that book, then that person has the option of who to tell. Then there's the lock. You're talking about specifically a lock that was put into a certain house. That Gonsman probably doesn't know what was behind that door, but it's a very specific thing.
It's that loose lips,
right?
Sink ships.
And then there's let's go down to talk to the poorest people, the people that everyone else literally does not care about in this world because they have to go seek help from this martyr god.
Also from the Erevar side of things, it'd be much cheaper to get information out of them than anywhere else. I mean, we could be like, ping, like
well,
2
also,
coppers.
I think that if
anything
people are disappearing, there's probably going to be people that are like, something's going on and no one's listening to us, and we could be like, huh, interested. You know what I mean? Like, we probably won't even need to get pay them for information because they're going to be like, someone's murdering
we could say
us.
that we're investigating. You could even say that you show their papers that they're read or not and be like, hey, this is what we're here for, is to investigate, kind of pull the wool over their eyes that way.
Because then also we could probably say we eventually find the person and we see them take somebody, that would probably lead us to the actual family member that is
where are the bodies disappearing from? Is there a time? Is there a place?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's actually really good. That's not just asking around, it's asking specific. So I agree with you. I think we should go talk to these poor folks about.
I watch a
Shrine
lot of
suffering.
murder shows, so
Yep.
I can
Yep.
investigate
It's actually-
murder.
This is
I was like
CSI right here.
One of our first detective kind of games that we've played before, and you've had several instances. Oh, I got a detective.
So you're going down to the Shrine of Suffering?
I think so.
All right. So the Shrine of Suffering is a square. It's a plaza, kind of like open area. On one side of this plaza is a fairly modest, small shrine. Like, you went up to the Temple District, you saw the House of Wonders that the Gonsmen live in. You've even seen the Temple of Timora, which is a massive affair. Just to see this, just one stone arch with kind of a shack coming out behind it, just enough to fill some seats and have a pulpit to talk to, is very humbling about kind of who Ilmater is. And they're above the arch, above the doorway into that little just ramshackle shack, is the visage of Ilmater, who is a cut and bruised human whose hands are tied together. And his hands are tied together. It's a stone statue, but his hands are tied together with actual red rope. All throughout this, it is just a derelict camp. You see, boxes and crates and lean-tos, just everyone's worldly possessions in bags and small boxes. The smell is not great, as it's a homeless camp. There's a bunch. There's bustling with folk coming in and out. You see folks in what seem to be clergy gear, bringing out just soup bowls just stacked up high and handing them out to people. Primarily, you see that most of the people that are servicing are halflings. You also see one.
They are servicing
No,
the halflings, or the service.
The service people are the Ilmater priests are halflings.
Okay.
They are in just kind of gray robes, and the hems of the robes around the hands are red embroidered. There is one that seems older and more senior than the rest. He's standing kind of in the middle of the plaza, and there's several folk around him, kind of some of them are praying on one knee, and others are just listening raptly as he kind of gives a small, not really sermon, but just a dissertation.
Well, I'd say we're in the right place. There's an orgy of red wristbands going on right now. It's everywhere.
And you do see amongst the homeless the red twine around their wrists, several of them.
I always feel so, when we get into these situations, I'm like, I wish my character had a shabby or just brown cloak so that I'm not just this.
Yeah, Maeve turned her cloak into just a burlap cloak.
Do you glow with power? Is that?
She doesn't glow with
When I have
power,
my
but
arms out.
she is.
But
Her
I'm
hair
fancy.
is red. Her skin is gold.
So if I just had a brown,
Can't you change? though? Can't you do like
You
Earth?
can, like, she changes seasons, but it has to be her mood, and it has to be after her trance.
Oh, okay. So you couldn't change into autumn right now.
No.
It is,
No, I
it
think
is
next
that
time
now. All right.
I'm gonna buy a
Well, I
shabby
mean-
cloak.
Yeah, I mean, you could totally have done that as you were knowing you're going down here. Just on the way down there, going to a little general
Because-
store, clothier.
Because otherwise, like, me and her would both stick out.
We stick
You're
out like
both
sore
sticking out.
thumb.
Like, Maeve can blend herself in, but I don't know if Erevar is gonna. Like, you are a swashbuckler.
'Cause
I mean,
even
you
if
look
yeah.
like a swaggering pirate, but you're still you're an Errol Flynn looking pirate.
I'm very well dressed.
So-
Even if I dummied it down a little bit, I'd still have my swords on me and things. I'm still gonna
And
be
those
very
rapiers.
Yeah.
I mean, rapiers aren't commoner weapons.
I think for us that we should just
At least try
just
to.
a little. Yeah, we don't have
not
to
like
change
you're-
our complete persona.
Not like you're flaunting it, at least
Yeah.
like you're showing some respect. All right. So you picked up some cloaks. Like I said, Maeve turned her cloak into burlap, just like a kind of worn burlap cloak. She pulls the hood up on it.
Everybody just takes his shirt off to his a-neck, so that he looks like
He ties it up like Brittany.
And you are in the square, the plaza of the Shrine of Suffering. So where are you going to kind of start this? You're going to talk to the clergy? You're going to talk to the
No.
people?
I would say the two options we would have would be people looking for alms because we can get information out of them for a lot less money, and the other one would be people that seem to be grieving without someone with the red bands. In other words, they're upset because somebody has passed away.
Make
But I don't think they would. I think that they would just be missing people to these people because they don't know that they were. What happened to them? What they were being
Let's
used
say,
for?
but the red bands are people that are suffering, aren't they?
These people are suffering.
all the people are suffering. The red band is most of the people are wearing it.
Yeah.
It's just they're giving thanks to the shrine by wearing the red for getting them food and getting them a place to stay.
Performance, I'd be like, step right up, find out if your uncle is dead, find out if your son has been butchered.
I think we could probably ask anybody, like, we've heard whispers that there have been people, there have been people going missing. Do you know, are these any people or their family members? And give them some coin because they're poor and we feel bad for them, and probably be pretty easy to eventually find the.
I could definitely do that. I could say,
Relations.
I'm here to help.
So
Reaching
yeah, you
out.
can absolutely start spreading some like silvers around. That would make you very popular.
Flipping coins to children as they run past.
And handing out
Overhand
silvers
these
and
two
asking
figures.
about missing people. That is absolutely something you can do and easy to do. After the first couple silvers come out, people gather. And you start asking your questions. You're very polite. There's no roll in this because the answer is always the same. Everyone knows someone that's gone missing. Every single one of them. They all have like a story on deck about some tragedy, and I mean, they could be lies to try to sow sympathy, or they could be absolutely real. I mean, these people are suffering here, but this is Baldur's Gate, and Baldur's Gate. That's just a fact of life. You saw someone outside your room that probably got murdered last night, or at least mugged. People not coming back. It just happens.
Narrow it.
But
Let's ask around about anyone that's lost somebody that worked for the nobility at all.
the attention that you're getting over there brings the old halfling over, and he kind of walks up and he starts taking the silver from the people.
Wait, what?
Yeah, he's like, oh yes, we'll put that to good use. This, that, and he kind of tells you to back up, kind of like just in a very, very polite, low key way. And he's like, this is very generous, and I thank you. But unless you have enough for everyone, if you do, then please carry on. But this goes a lot longer ways to get soup for a lot more people in our hands than in the individuals. So we ask. It can cause fights. It can cause disruptions when certain people get.
That's understandable.
So he, and the people willingly, most of them, like some just grabbed your money, said their story and left. Others give it up, but most of them just like hand it over because they've gotten so much from
Yeah.
Ilmater. So he takes that, he puts it away in a pouch. He's like, "Is there something I can help you with? Is there something I can answer for you? Are you asking questions here?"
So we would probably just tell him the same thing, like, how could we make it more specific though without like...
I mean, you can start, because he hasn't heard what you're asking, you can start the wide net
Yeah.
as well. And he comes like, lass, this is Baldur's Gate. This folk go missing every day. We could have folk here that have been in this square for years, and then one day their mat's just empty, all their possessions still there. For me personally, when the possessions are missing, I at least have a little bit of hope that they found a better way. But it's quite common for people to go missing. Is there anything specific about the people you're looking for that might be gone missing?
Are there any, I guess, any people who have gone missing most recently and have left their possessions and seem to be under suspicious
Or like I
circumstances?
said, you could say, did any of them work in the upper districts?
None of these people could even get there, really.
Yeah.
Like, none of these people would be let in.
I feel like these people are just being like snatched, like kind of, but
This is like, there's workers that come from the lower city to the upper city. This isn't them.
Those are actually
Yeah.
good points that, like, you probably wouldn't kill people that were working for you from
Yeah.
here because you have to draw attention.
So, like, I can start asking around for anything. The possessions, they get divvied up normally.
Also, I left. Why was that halfling taking the silver away from the people?
it was a good thing.
Yeah. So basically, if you give silver to the church, that can buy a whole lot of soup for everyone in the square.
Gosh, yeah.
If you start giving silver to specific people, like these people over here, that can cause a lot of dissension.
Makes sense.
So, like, there's several different reasons for it. Like, if you want to just shower silver on every single person here, then he's all for it. But if you're looking for information, give money to him. He can. These people are all
How
beholden.
much silver did we eat? Some bread.
Probably a gold's worth 10
Well, and I was gonna give the guy 2 extra gold.
All right, so
gold.
I'll get 5. You get
So-
7 then. That's fine.
Now, remember, like, 10 silver is 1 gold.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you're giving 2 actual gold to him.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, oh, that's.
Oh,
That's
you
on
take-
top of the
you should
silver.
take 5 off silver, or make him pay 5 silver. I paid half the silver.
He said we paid the equivalent of 1 gold, right?
The equivalent of 1 gold
Between all
worth
3
of
of us.
silver.
And I
Between
paid
all 4 of you.
half.
So why would I
That
take
1
off
gold.
5? You
I
mean
took-
silver?
I took
Yeah.
5 silver off. So we're still short 5 silver.
Maeve will
You're paying
have
2
thrown
gold,
in.
though, but yeah, Maeve.
Actually, Maeve will throw in the other 5.
Alright, there you go.
I was
'Cause-
just paying 2 gold just to be like
To the
generous.
No,
addition.
totally. It makes sense.
All right.
I'll watch you do it.
So, yeah, he's like, yeah, he takes that and.
As a noble, I feel. For
Yeah, he takes that and puts it away real fast. Like, he almost like, the moment he sees that it's gold, he cups it from you and puts it away, because, if all of a sudden gold's coming around, that could cause a riot here.
Yeah.
He's like, you are very generous, and I'll surely ask around anyone that's gone missing recently or any suspicious cases. We talk to these people every day, and nothing's standing out in my mind, but I'll see if I can get a little bit deeper and find more connections.
Also, how about any similarities amongst the disappearances?
Oh, I like that.
So it would be within the past year, and it would be. We're only looking in the past year, right? Because you said that's how long it could take to complete the
Flesh golem. And the body parts, unless they're doing some type of preserving technique, which they might, they would probably still need to be fresh.
Yeah.
But there's another detail about the body parts used in the flesh golem.
Why were we all so drunk?
I know.
Was it?
But just think about what a flesh golem is.
It's a Frankenstein of pieces put together,
So how would you describe it?
sewn together, an abomination, floppy.
Bunch of parts. I mean,
Different skin colors?
Like you,
No, especially if they came from the same
how are we
place.
supposed to
Toenails?
describe it?
Fingernails?
No.
Tattoos? Damn it.
no? Okay.
Wait.
If you want, one of you can roll an insight.
Let me do it.
Alright. Damn it. The one time I don't bring my book, it's like the entire detective.
17.
Yeah. I mean, what is Frankenstein's monster? Like, when you walk up to it, when it walks up to you, what's the first thing
The
you
head.
notice about it?
It's large.
It's large.
Oh,
Every
so all the arms
every
and legs would be
part
big
on that
people.
thing was a big man.
Okay.
So they didn't use dainty women parts or halfling parts or even like maybe the hands
I
were
would have made
dwarves.
that inside of my own.
But yeah, like those things are huge. They got the biggest people possible, and of course, some of them are multiple biceps like stitched together. But it's still a massive. Like you don't get small parts for that.
It's kind of what's going on, like my asking of like any of them have share any similarities where there's like an area
So now
or
we
like
know
a
what's-
person type.
So we would tell
or
that guy,
whatever the
oh,
case.
hey,
They're probably
they're probably large adult males.
They're your giant folk. Do you have giant folk that are dead? Or
You missing your giant
Yeah.
token?
yeah, like I'll certainly ask around it, and it may take some time. I can't help but notice that you're all wearing the same emblem. Are you mercenaries?
It's another subplot. Like, if this is like an over the top RPG,
Yes.
this character would be flashing. You're like,
it would have a silver
Yeah.
exclamation, not a gold. It's not the storyline, but a silver,
or
and
keep
maybe a
saying,
side
hey, every time
quest.
you walk by, you're like, hey, you're like,
Hey.
well, here
Yeah.
we go.
How about we might be?
We might be. We clearly are. Yes, we work for the Cardinal Bond. We are for hire.
Oh, I've heard good things about the Cardinal Bond. It's just up and coming, right? Well, it's going to take me some time to ask around and get the information.
Oh god.
You can,
But we do have
No, we will not fight moles.
we do have a problem that's been plaguing us that we haven't been able to take care of. We just we don't have the support,
is it
the
rats?
money to take care of ourselves. It would put me in your debt if you could look into it.
Alright, well, give me the 2 gold back.
Okay.
Oh, you're talking about debt from a high-level priest. Like, now you have identification and things like that from Arya. You get a high-level priest owing you. You get restoration. You get remove curse. You get some pretty potent access to
Resurrect?
abilities.
Can we drag a body to him?
You'd still have to cover the cost,
Yeah.
but he could probably do it. But it's like 1,000 gold pieces to resurrect someone.
That's it.
But
All right. So what's
you would have someone that could do it. Like
so
that's
what's,
the thing.
what's the problem before we accept a contract? We never accept a mystery contract.
Well, bones have been going missing from the ossuary. We haven't been able to find them, but we think it's some beasts down there stealing them. It's not good for the folks that are interred there. It's not good for folks that want to be interred there. If you could go down
Bone
and
golem.
clear out the whatever critters are stealing the remains from this hollowed ground, I'd be in your debt.
Where is this down there?
Okay. He points, and you see there's actually like, what was that?
That happens
My watch,
herself.
sorry.
Oh, was it?
Oh,
I was gonna say
okay.
we've talked about that before. Like, what is that? You-
He points down the side of the shack that's underneath the shrine's arch, and you see like it just seems to be like an entrance, like a doorway that just goes down. Like you'd see it as a crypt doorway, just kind of in the middle, like off this plaza. He points over there.
What do you guys think? Go beat up some beasts for bones? Anything else going on
Can you
right
ask
now?
any more questions? Like, has anybody else
absolutely.
been down there to try to deal with this?
Just my sons, but they're not fighters. We've never heard hide nor hair of the things. We've just noticed the destruction they leave.
That was my next question. The sons have gone on there to hunt. They haven't seen anything. They've seen any track or evidence of
We think
object.
we've heard some noises coming from the western corridors. We feel that that's where they're coming from.
Let's just go do it.
Let's just go
Let's just
do
go
it.
do
Yeah,
it.
alright, well, let's just go do it then.
I'll
Alright, it's
have
mercenary work. We're mercenaries. Let's do it.
I'll have my son show you the way. Calls over, and another halfling. This one's like middle-aged. Comes up,
So he's a Muslim?
middling. He's a middling.
I like middlings better.
Really?
If you're older, you're just a Muslim.
calls them over and he goes, take these down to the western catacombs. They're going to try to find the critters that are stealing the bones. He goes, I'm out there praise you. Please follow me. He walks you down. It's like the little thin stairways down. There's some torches lit every 40, 50 yards. So it's pretty dark in between. And there's just this network of crypts down here. The smell is pretty bad. Some of you probably, like Maeve, pulls cowl over her mouth to stop it. There you pass chambers and rooms where you just hear and see rats, just tons of them. You see that they're around or doing something to something, like there's mounds in there and the rats are just going to town. The halfling has produced light from his hand and he keeps it in front of him and down towards the ground, and any rats that are like running through the corridors tend to avoid you and they stick to the sides and they run into these rooms and these offsets. Some of these look like there's tunnels down to more rooms and other things. It looks like a fairly intricate crypt system. The torches start to pick up in frequency until you see that one hallway is completely lit and actually fairly well maintained in a wider hallway. But before you even get to that hallway, he takes you west down another corridor. You walk down for a ways and it kind of passes through the sewer. You walk up and there's water running and you have to walk over a little bridge before you go back into a little side tunnel that brings you back into these crypts. Less rats here, but there's still some running around. You see in some of the rooms that there's bones just laying.
Is this crypt like tall ceiling, short ceiling? Is it carved out of the stone, or is it built?
It's stonework. It is absolutely stonework. It goes, like I said, it comes in and out of the sewers, so you don't know which one was built first. Probably the crypt, and then the sewers were just bored right through them.
Attached to it.
But it looks like whatever that plaza was, whatever was on that plot of land, had their own crypt, and now it's being used for this. And just to give you the macabre details, since Ilmater caters to the poor, for a small fee, they will bring your body down here, put it in one of these crypt rooms, and let the rats pick it clean, then take your bones and commit it to the ossuary, which is it just houses bones, like shelves of skulls, shelves of femurs, just massive chamber of just bones of the dead, and you can have your body interred there. And for most people in Baldur's Gate that aren't rich, this is the only way that you'll ever have your body on hallowed ground. So normally the less well-to-do will do this because it's the only option available to them.
So do we see evidence of missing bones?
I mean, you wouldn't even know.
Yeah,
like,
so it's kind of a hodgepodge at this point.
But he takes you down to these the western tunnels, and they start to seem to get less and less refined, like money was running out, or time was running out, or work was running out for the crypts, and so they kind of stopped. But it starts to look like it converts into like a more natural cavern network. So you don't know if they just came down to a natural caves and carved them out and stoned them up, or if this western reach broke into a natural cavern.
Yeah, that's funny because that's what I was going to suggest.
Are there any
Someone
kind
could
of
have scripted it run into something.
Tracks to these?
Survival check. As you take over, like pretty much when he gets to that point, the halfling, Hanson Hodges, says,
Hanson Hodges, the halfling.
The halfling. He's like, I'm sure you could make your way back to the ossuary. I'll be waiting there. Good luck, and let there be with you. Hopefully you will not need his ministrations today.
19.
You are looking around after he takes the torchlight away, and you convert your eyes into your dark vision into black and white. Sometimes it makes it more difficult to find tracks, but you find a lot of times that the contrast really helps out. You're looking around and you're looking around, and then like right on the edge, where the dirt and grime of the bottom meets the natural stone wall, you see some weird impressions down it, and it's not little like rat footprints or anything. They're very much like just slits, just tracked into the ground right on the edge, and then it disappears, and then you can see some more down the way, and then you see some on the other side, and like kind of goes back and forth one side to the other side. You'll see these.
What do you make of that?
They're just slits.
Yeah, just like, and it's like little impressions, like someone took a knife and just pressed it into the grime and the dirt, just, and it's not deep, and they're just like little. They are kind of long though, like where they're sticking out, like how much grime is built up determines how long it is, but the longest one you see is like this long.
So you've identified them as tracks. Is there any way you can identify what left tracks?
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'd have to like look into my knowledge of something that would have that type of.
It's not fiends like do this, so it's not really your expertise. You can make a nature check. I think it's called nature. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Give it a go. 13.
Not really sure. I mean, it could be like insects or something like that. It also, just could be some natural erosion coming down from the sides of this cavern. It, who knows if there's like lime or something oozing from the walls and creating these rivulets into the ground, but it's very specific. It seems like...
Can we do that thing where we
The
check to
intervals
see
are
if
regular.
there's like a demon or a daemon or whatever?
Yep. I mean, it's still at a mile radius, so...
But we're probably pretty far underneath to where you would...
Yeah, but a mile is like the majority of Baldur's
Yeah.
The entire
Gate,
town, yeah.
Well, what good is that power in this city?
Right. As he levels, I'm going to let him hone it in
Well, you know
more.
what?
But right now, you get all the normal ones. You get Fiend, Undead, Fae, no Celestials. Celestial's the only one you don't get.
Anyway, I was just
Yeah.
I guess we just keep on because we don't know what the fuck
saying,
it is.
obviously,
There's
like
something
I would
here.
relay this to the group and be like, alright, there's these weird markings. I don't know. They're not something I would know of.
No.
So you were saying that the pattern is obviously like the distancing is kind of uniform.
Very
It's
uniform.
Clearly a track.
Mm-hmm.
Does it alternate like this, or is it just
Yeah.
could be a track, like a tread? Tread is what I'm saying. Yeah. Because that wouldn't make sense for like a wheelbarrow if someone's stealing the bones rather than an animal.
Yeah, it's like
Why
even
would
say
an
someone
animal
was
want just bones.
yeah, it's weird. Like the rats even don't take the bones.
Right? Like, why
So-
do dogs ever want
To gnaw the
Get the marrow in the middle like a dog, but a dog wouldn't take enough, wouldn't be destructive enough to take enough that you would notice. You know,
Sounds like someone's dragging a wheelbarrow through here, basically, and just hauling loads of bones out. Making a bone golem.
maybe you found your next lead and you
The
didn't even
plot
know it.
Thickens.
or some kind of ritual? It doesn't have to be a golem.
So does that guy go now? Like
golem.
right? It's
He
just
left
us
us
down
here.
Just
here.
you guys.
We should just go deeper in, I guess.
Maeve has her glasses on,
Put them on
looking
me.
around.
Also, hauling a load of bones is a great band name. Hauling them bones.
Are you in the lead following the tracks, I'm assuming?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Who's marching order? Who's next?
What's the name of the song?
I'll hold up the rear with May, so I'll go third.
So her second, you third, and Maeve in the back.
Holland bones?
That's what I put.
Per
Sorry, like hauling, no, it's like haul,
section.
H-A-U-L, in. bones.
Perception?
Perception.
Fallen bones.
Heyo. Let's go with the 16.
The cavern's getting pretty rough. There's lots of, crevices now. It used to be almost like it was starting to be worked and straightened before, but now you're getting into this is just cave and there's juts and things sticking out. It widens and closes in areas. All kinds of weirdness going on. It's harder to find the tracks, but you do see them occasionally, though there's really only one direction to go at this point. You've had turns and choices, but you always followed where those tracks were because you know what to look for. But now you're getting down to a cave that's pretty deep in there, pretty rough, and you're starting to see the tracks less and less. But if you were to come up to another split, it'd be probably pretty difficult to find which way it went, though you haven't got to that yet. So you're heading down. Perception.
All of us?
Nope, just her.
17.
Perception.
Oh. Oh, 11.
Okay. It's not made dice. This is made.
Low rolls tonight.
Yeah.
My only inspiration use was to get a 1 instead of a 2, so I stuck with the 2 anyway.
Okay. So you guys are all going through the tunnel. You're in the lead. Got your bow out. Everyone's, you're next to him, just keeping an eye around. You're looking back and forwards. And then Maeve goes, "Hey, what's that?" And I need you to do the clickety-clackety sounds.
How big it is.
But much louder. When you turn around to see Maeve pointing up and past one of the juts that you guys all just walked by,
So
there's actually a kind of hole in the ceiling. There's natural little crevice up there, and out of that comes something. First, you just see tentacles come out and start feeling around, and then these two kind of glassy eyes with two antennae coming off, and then segmented body with little pincer or not sort of crab-like legs, and it's just crawling on the ceiling, and it comes down, and its tentacles try to hit you.
I do have uncanny dodge.
You do, and you had enough warning that none of you were surprised. It's just getting first attack,
Gotcha.
so you can use your reactions and things like that. It got 18 to hit.
Oh, that hits for sure.
So, since we're getting into this, I have 2 key points marked.
Yes, did you read the new functionality of it?
Yeah, I feel like I did, but
Yeah.
so I have nothing in my amulet right now though marked.
Oh.
Which I feel like I should.
You should. You're full up right now. And
Okay, that's
you've
what I
had enough
thought.
days, so
Yeah.
right now, how many hit points does it give you? Read that second part. The temporary hit points.
On the
Amulet of Serenity. Serenity!
5 cumulative temporary hit points.
Okay, so you have 10 temporary hit points and 2 key points stored. Because you
key
can do
points
both.
stored.
Yep.
Okay.
Or how many can you have stored?
3.
3. So you have 3 key points stored and 15 temporary hit points.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I have 18 key points.
Maybe.
to use?
Hold on. No.
Does he do the temporary hit points stack like that?
No, well, they do stack on that.
Wouldn't it be 13? Because I would have. Well, no, it would be 5 plus.
5, 10,
it would be
15.
13.
It would be 5, 10, 15. But sorry, I mixed it up. You can only have 3 points stored in the amulet. You can choose which ones are going towards hit points and which ones are just there for you to pull.
Okay.
So how many points do you have that are just key points ready to pull, and how much of that mystical armor do you have on right now? It's either 5, 10, or 15 at the cost of 1, 2, or 3 key points
For hit points?
for the hit points. And
I
that's
already have 38 full hit points. Do I need to do that right now?
You
probably
don't
not.
have to.
But
Yeah.
I mean,
I'll
you
keep
know that
in
you are the
mind, but-
combatant, and you can't switch them now. You chose when you put them in there.
Right, okay.
So if you're just going for straight key and not hit points right now,
Right, yeah.
okay. Alright.
You roll damage for that hit.
I'm about to, yeah.
Ugh. I should have been a dignity.
This is what I live for, fighting weird worms.
You take 3 points of damage.
Is that after it's half?
No, since it's halved, it would be, I think it's round down. I'm not sure.
I'm pretty
It's
sure.
round up.
I think it rounds up.
Okay, so
It's
2.
Yeah.
And you need to make a Constitution saving throw.
No way. Come on, big number 2.
2 total?
Yeah.
Alright. So this thing, like,
Together.
it comes above you, like, kind of sticks its head down off the ceiling, and its tentacles just worm their way into your shoulder, and it stings. Like, it just burns, and then all across your body, just pain goes by, and then numbness, and you fall to the ground.
Oh, am I paralyzed?
You are poisoned for 1 minute and
Hey.
paralyzed. So
Sucks to
the,
suck.
the
bud.
poison is going to be with you for a minute.
That's 10 rounds.
The paralyzed, you can try to get out of turn by turn, but you are
Disadvantage for rolls.
you're nothing. You can't move. You can't act. You're incapacitated and prone. So yeah, and everyone has advantage to attack you.
I have sea legs. I have advantage to not being knocked prone. I don't have it then.
Your sea legs aren't working.
That's just a small
Something
assault
is
bonus.
like you hear this commotion behind you, and you now see something at your like 60-foot range,
And I'm like, yeah,
weaving its way and keeping into crevices and behind juts of stone on the ceiling. But you see like these 2 antennas coming out, like feeling around as this thing's like on the ceiling. If you try to shoot at it, it has cover, which gives it bonus AC. So we're gonna roll initiative.
Seriously, I should have just shoot at it.
Well, we're gonna find who's doing what now. All right. So,
I always do this.
At what point does 0 fall into the initiative?
you still roll initiative, so
Really?
when you get back up, we'll know where you're at. If you get back up,
Dang. Natural 20 plus 8, 28.
18.
Jordan was 18. Jordan,
15.
Paralyzed guy gets to go first.
hey, that's a save that he gets to do right away. Okay, you're first, so you get a save right now.
4 against.
It's Constitution saving throw. Yeah,
4.
yeah. How's that trash stat feeling now?
Like trash.
All right. Then it goes to Maeve. She screams and backs up.
That's a mean looking critter. Watch your back, that ass.
pretty dark down here.
It is completely dark down here. There is no light. You're just relying on your dark vision.
Just crawling on the ceiling.
So-
Watch your back, that ass.
Why?
Make sure that you scream before you back.
I was gonna say, could I have pulled out a torch as like a reaction thing? Like lit up some light?
You don't having natural dark vision.
How
you
bright
don't
are my arms?
Oh, they're pretty bright. I mean, they do cast light. They're not like a torch, but they do cast light.
We're hoping light scares these things.
Maybe. I mean, it obviously likes the dark and tunnels.
So
So.
we won't get any experience. You change a little bit. feeling that's what makes the milestone experience better.
Nope.
I don't want to chase it.
She had a couple options to do, but she needs to protect herself, so she splits into 2 Maves. That is, she might have a reaction. Nope. Alright, that's it. That's all she does. That's on 21. Lord of 18.
Oh, I already put my key points in because I took my arms out.
And you can slam it. It's hanging right above you pretty much because you were right in front of Aerovar.
Of course I'm going to slam it.
Alright, so you spent key to pull out your arms, which is your action, so you just get your bonus action 1 attack.
Cool. So right now I'm rolling for the initial
The hit.
14.
14 will hit.
D6 now.
D6 plus, was it 4?
Is this it? No, that's not it.
It's a regular Yahtzee dice.
Shit. 5.
Was that plus your damage bonus?
Mm-hmm.
You rolled a 1?
No, yeah, I did.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, yeah,
So disappointed.
But I get another one.
No, because you spent the action to pull out your arms. You only get the single bonus action attack.
Okay.
Give inspiration to reroll that attack.
You can't reroll damage.
Oh, it's damage on attack, sorry.
I always
She
forget
hit.
what's the one that's...
Flurry of blows. Yeah, you already spent key this turn, so. But next turn, you can go ahead and whip out all the attacks.
Now we're fighting in the jungle or something.
Alright.
I like
This is
fighting
supposed to be.
I like fighting
This is
to the
supposed to be
jigs.
combat horror, so whatever. I'll let it go. 15, Jordan. There's something obviously behind you, but there is also one coming towards you from the front. It will reach you this turn. It's moving that fast.
But like you said, if I do shoot at it, it has cover.
It has cover, which is a bonus to armor class, not disadvantage.
Okay, I'm gonna shoot at it.
Okay, you are a 5th level ranger now. You have 2 attacks.
Hey,
So you can spend your bonus action on either one to do that extra damage if you want.
the
The force damage. Or you can Hunter's Mark it with your bonus action, which I think would give you bonus damage on each attack, right?
I was just looking at that.
What?
What's
Well, I
happening?
guess I don't want to blow my nose on the street.
What's going on?
I was going to if you give me tissue. See what's on the edge, but I don't want to blow my nose.
There's a paper towels right up there, but there's also tissue. Yeah, that gives you that'll give you an extra d6 on each attack. The other one gives you an extra d8 force damage to one attack, but the putting the mark would get you a d6 on if you hit with both, or put the d6 on each.
Alright, so I am able to mark it.
Yes.
Even
Bonus
though it's
action.
like running
Yeah.
around, whatever.
And it's just like a wow, so now kind of like you can see its silhouette, you know, through, you have wall hacks right now.
So first attack
These things are
is only going to be a
unreadable.
15.
That hits. Even with the bonus.
So then that is
8d6 plus 4.
I have 1d8 plus 5 plus d6.
1d8 plus 5 plus a
Damage is
d6.
1d8 plus 5. Plus
Longbows.
6. Wow.
This is reminding me a lot of your
Was it 1d8 plus
Character
d6 or
11.
1d8, 1d6 plus 5.
Wow, that's cool.
That's-
I only did 11.
11.
What character did you play in what game did we just play last time?
Talisman.
Oh,
I was
Talisman.
the. I was
Character
the.
where it was like this plus this plus this
Yeah.
plus
On
this.
Yeah.
mutant.
I was
Yeah.
the. Oh, he was the mutant.
I roll to see what I get.
I was
Plus
actually-
1 faith, plus 1 whatever.
I was doing a thought
Strength is
experiment
14.
today about the damage output between characters, between martial classes and regular classes, and there's a lot of people online that really fight rogues on when they can get their sneak attack. But if you look at it, in one round, just hitting with no magical bonus or anything, and if at the top of your class at 5th level, you can put out 33 damage. She can put out 34, and I think he can put out. Well, now with this, if you have everything up, it's probably near 38 to 40. But normally it would be, if you didn't use Hunter's Mark and just used your power, it'd be in the 36 range. So it's like really even level. Like, it makes me think that it allows build diversity in groups. Like, we don't need, if no one wants to play a martial character, a rogue and a wizard, wizards can pump out damage.
Well,
Rogues,
that's
like, you
the thing
don't.
where, like you say, it's the action economy, but you have to consider to max and min damage on all that stuff.
But like part of Rogue's damage is that sneak attack, and to deny it, like I tried to give it to you way more than I ever tried to
Well,
deny
say
it.
Xernax was getting to a point where he was almost doing as much damage as Robert's character, where I'm just like,
And you're the same level,
It's like-
so
it's like
as
these-
you should.
yeah, these 7 d6s for damage.
Second attack.
Allowed to use inspiration on it, right?
Yeah.
Not on the damage at all.
Oh, did you miss?
I might have rolled natural 1 on that second.
Yeah, you probably want to use advantage.
So
Inspiration.
let's do 17.
That'll hit. So another D8, D6, plus 5.
So that's a nice 16 damage.
Damn, that's good for what are we, level 3?
You're 5.
Level 5. That's
Yeah.
right.
But I did technically
These
use
guys roll
2 arrows.
You did technically use 2 arrows.
That
So you're only getting one of those back. Just to know, I'm going to be a little bit more stingy on the Hunter's Mark moving. So next turn, you get to, like, if you want, you can use your force damage with your bonus action, and you would add, you know, the D6 from Hunter's Mark and the D8. And then you'd have a second attack that would be D8, D6 if you hit. But if it dies, you've already spent your bonus action and your Hunter Mark fades. So
I have to recast.
you would have to recast and use another spell. Not that you're using your spells for anything else, but
Yeah.
alright. So if you think it's close to death, you may not want to use your force damage. That was on 15. The carrion crawlers go on their 13. Yep, one coming from the front, and one came out of that little crevice.
Doesn't matter. I'm still.
Crevasse.
It's my turn, right?
Nope, it's
Oh,
their
they
turn.
haven't gone yet.
Yep. So it's not. You know, you're paralyzed, so you're not a threat anymore. You're hitting it with firearms, so it wants to deal with you. It is, you know, coming off the ceiling, like kind of wrapping around and trying to bite while its tentacles lash out at you. Wow, that is unfortunate. For me, not you.
Where's messy mashed potatoes now? He's like, yeah.
12 misses you, I think. And then 12 misses you. Damn it.
Wait, he's messy potato salad.
Yeah, so it's all up in your face now, but you're just like weaving around. It can't connect to you.
The other one
The other one rushes up.
towards me.
Like, it's coming up and it's about 15 feet from you when it drops to the ground. It just flips upside down. And these things are large, by the way. These things are the size of this table. Like, you know, its head is like this big. It just goes flip and just keeps coming at you and like rears up and tries to bite your knee, and tentacles come around your leg.
The knee.
Oh. Okay.
No.
That was a natural 20 on the bite, which is the least. Like, that's the lesser of the two attacks. But got a
Still.
22 on the tentacles.
Okay.
So, you take...
87 damage. Jeez.
Right. It's okay.
Okay, but
You take 7 from the bite, critical bite, and you take 4 from the tentacles, and now you have to make a Constitution save.
bummer. Do you have any constitution of this character?
Would I ever have Constitution
No
on
one
the character?
takes Constitution on the character except for Robert.
Good thing I got a 19, so I got a 20.
All right, you feel that pain start to try to arc through you, and you just like, fight it back. Like, just, I gotta get through this. And you move your legs, all like, legs not wanting to move, and you're forcing it to move. It starts to tingle, like when you get that arms asleep or legs asleep feeling through it with the pain over top of it.
You throw up rocks.
Now it's back to the top. Now you are.
Fucking 15?
Yes. You like.
God.
So you're prone, and this thing is attacking her from the ceiling. You can attack it from prone, but you will have disadvantage because it's not easy to fight from the ground.
Can I don't have that.
You can move.
Can I? Yeah, I want to get up and
You can just like you just jump to your feet and
disadvantage is fine.
yeah, disadvantage from poison.
So 13.
Hits.
All right.
These things don't have a big armor class.
No.
3. No, sorry, 6 damage.
6. Where's your sneak attack?
Oh, is it within 5 feet of its buddy?
No.
It's being attacked.
Yeah,
right.
it's between you and Loradov. So
Never mind. So
add your
that's why I was keeping these.
add your 3d6.
That's why I was.
You rolled a d8 for the scimitar, right?
Yes. So it was a 6 plus.
Did you roll a 1 on your d8?
No. I rolled a 2. Sorry, plus 4.
Plus 5. Oh no, plus 4 for you. You're right.
4. So it was
6.
6, 12, 13, 17 is the damage instead.
That's much better.
Yeah.
Oh, wrong one.
Oh, you can put that damage in the other one. Because I'm the one fighting this one.
Okay. All right. So you stand up, slice into that one. You do anything else? You have movement left. Prone, getting up from prone, I think only takes 5 feet of movement, or might take 10 feet. But
No, I'm okay where I'm at.
okay. Maeve goes. Does anyone look? Oh, yep, I know what she's doing. She holds her hand out to you, or towards you, and this black, like, mist kind of rolls out and just, like, flits through the air, and it goes kind of, like, up into your mouth, nostrils, and ears. And you're like, "Ugh," and you instantly just feel that poison, sickness, debilitation just...
Oh, sweet.
And you see, like, black fumes come out of your body. No, they don't make that sound. But you have been restored, so you are no longer poisoned. Lesser restoration. So, and it was one of the Maves, because there's 2 Maves in the hallway. One of the Maves cast it. That was Maeve's turn. Loradov.
Flurry of blows.
So first punch, and then you have 2 attacks now. So 2 attacks plus 3 more. So this is 5 attacks this round.
Damn, you should roll 5. You should try to find d20s and roll 5 d20s. Here's one. Don't
Let's
roll
make
those,
sure
you're
I'm
bad.
right. It might be something else. Let me check real quick.
You have 2
You said 5.
I'm pretty sure. I'm just going to check.
That's cool. No one ever rolls 5 d20s.
Nope, it's just 2 more, so 4 attacks. Sorry. Less impressive, but 4 attacks.
We'll stay with the metal. Yeah. You can feel it.
That's pretty good, all things considered. I got... What is that? I got a 16, a 23, and a... Math is hard, 21. And then a 9.
Okay, the 9 misses, so you're doing...
Sure did.
You're doing 3d6 plus 12.
Damn.
So it's 1d6 plus 4 3 times.
That's right.
Alright. 3d6 plus 12?
Yep. It's 1d6 plus 4 3 times.
13
Six.
plus
I'm talking about, bud. Look at my die.
16 plus 12?
12.
28.
That's pretty powerful.
Start rolling my die.
Right?
Rolling better than me.
Yeah.
Okay.
D20.
You smash that thing. You just like you're bludgeoning it. It's coming off the ceiling. You're hitting it like so hard. It's kind of like a punching bag, going back and pulling its legs off the ceiling. It drops drops almost on top of you, rolls off your side, and is just like, what the fuck just hit me? It's cracked and broken. You see some legs are gone. You've just been smashing these things off of it. This ichor is just pouring out everywhere. It smells terrible. And this thing just like tries, or it looks like it's going to start trying to run away right towards Maeve, because it's trying to run out the back of the cavern.
Opportunity.
But it's not moving yet.
Finish him.
Jordarai.
Fatality.
Do I need to use a movement first to back away since I need to shoot? Since it clearly bit and clawed me,
It
so
did
it's on top
quite
of
claw
me.
you. It is on top of you. As far as I'm aware, for like ranged people, I don't think there is any, like, you know how to shoot in combat. I don't think there's any disadvantage or opportunity attacks for that. I'll look it up later, but let's just go with that for now.
So I don't remember incorporating any of that.
Well, even though those things right on top of me, I can still take my bow and just be like,
I mean, there's enough of it behind it that it's coming up on here, and you just go put 2 into its body coming behind it. I'll look it up later, but cinematically, like you'd have to spend your action to back up, so you wouldn't be able to attack unless you provoked an attack of opportunity. But also, like, Loradov is right behind you, so you don't really have any place to go.
Well, plus you've
So-
got, like, as long as the bow releases and the knock makes it to its final like apogee, the arrow is still going to have force coming out.
Yeah, and it's like it's here, and it goes, like I said, the length of this table, so it's up here, and you can just shoot at its back.
A point blank arrow is still an arrow.
Yep.
well, let's do a natural 20 on the first.
All right. Are you going to use your force on this?
Yes.
Absolutely. All right. So that's a D8 plus a D8 plus a D6. So that's 8, 16,
Plus 5? It's just
22. So that's 22 base damage. Because you automatically max your dice. Now you're going to roll all those dice again and add your plus damage, your plus 5.
plus 5.
So you're starting at 22.
So starting at 22, and I'm rolling still 2 d8s and a 6 plus my 5.
Yeah.
Well, could have done better, but 13.
So 35 points of damage in one shot.
You were too close. It only did 12 damage. Why did you let go with the bow? You're like...
Because it's like dropping the mic at the same time, like...
you're like, oh, bow.
And you have a second shot. Don't bother rolling it.
I was like...
You just like, you're back there, you're like, and you hit it at just such an angle and so forcefully, it actually, as it's passing through it, it drags it back a little bit. So that thing comes out its bottom and pins it to the ground, but it pulls him back enough that he's not like right on top of you, and you just take another arrow and right into its head. And it's like hits the ground and tentacles writhe, and it tries to curl up, but it's pinned to the ground, so it just kind of drags itself back around your arrow, which you hear snap. But I mean, the one that's in its mouth is okay. So yeah, that thing is way dead, and you lose your hunter's mark. Okay. That's the last carrion crawler. It is running, and it is going to move up to Maeve, try to attack her, and then keep going. But you see, like, it runs up, and it's just like going up the wall, and its tentacles come out at Maeve. This is the one that was in front, casting its spell at you, and the tentacles go right through it. And as it keeps running, the Maeve that is behind the other Maeve slashes down on it and just catches it like right at that first neck joint, and you just see the ichor pull out of it, and it kind of folds sickly at the head to the body joints, and keeps walking for another 5 feet, crawling against the wall before it just twitches and hits the ground and starts to fold up. These things are what you're facing, by the way. Carrion crawlers for anyone at home. Further in the tunnel, you hear more skittering feet. And that's where we'll call it.
Those are just gnomes.
Yeah, they're fine.
They're gnome beast masters.
I know we ran a little bit late. Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Everyone.
It's just a little late.
Yeah, 8 minutes. Thoughts? Reflections?
Oh, I
Good
think
thing.
we should have all gotten inspiration for that plan to go to Port People. Just saying. That was a pretty good plan.
It was the good lead. It was the obvious lead. Just the fact that you guys didn't remember the red twine at all. It was like the only thing like I pointed out in that room. Like, oh, you have some lab stuff. There's books. There's this. There's red twine.
Write that down. I'd be surprised because you did say it several times. As soon as you said red twine, I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. I think everybody's learned enough about thieving from me finally that you guys have become pretty good rogues. Erevar has trained you well, but not on purpose, like cause and effect.
All right. Mitch, take us out.
All right, this has been another edition of the Wileyverse. We play a regular campaign here on Wednesdays starting at 9:30 Arizona time, or 3 hours back from what it is right now. Look it up on your thing. We're currently Mountain Time again?
Yes.
We're Mountain Time, so 9:30 Mountain Time. As I finish school, we might be picking up some other stuff. We play board games from time to time. I might run a campaign here pretty soon, and we might do some other little stuff. So stay tuned, give us the follows, and set your clocks. We'll be around a lot more, hopefully.
See you next week. Or sooner.